Hello everyone, welcome back to the Zach GP channel. As you can see, my OBS is up. Let me take that down. So, obviously the forfeit will be happening. So let me start the 3-hour timer for anyone of you who don't know. I need to turn this down for myself. Basically, I said in Austria, Red Bull would get a double points finish. They got no one in the points. So that was an hour and a half on the exercise bike. And then I said, you know what, double or something, technically, called it double or nothing for fun. If Hamilton gets a podium this weekend, I'll double it to 3 hours. And of course he didn't, but I couldn't have, honestly at that point, because it was Hulkenberg, I'll happily do this 3 hours. So we've got a long stream ahead of us. There's a lot of news that has just come out, because that's why you can't see my full face right now. Because also the Horner stuff, exiting Red Bull, that happened 28 minutes ago. I don't know what to get up first. I was going to get, I need to get up the timer, then I'll get up the chat to ask how everyone's doing and all of that stuff, and then we'll go from there. Also, throughout the stream, I might be asking as well, where's 3 hours? 3 hours, bim bam boom. For some reason it thinks it's 6 o'clock on my iPad. If anyone's got any sim racing, like, stuff, because I'm acquiring into purchasing one, all of the bits and bobs, and I have about a budget of $1,500 to $2,000, and obviously I want to get the best of the best, but I don't want to, I don't know, there might be better sim stuff I don't know about, because this will be the first time trying to buy one. But anyway, let's get this going. And let me move that out of the way, because I've talked about the Horner stuff now. So I now need to just do what we do. Yeah. Let me get up the live scoring as well. Because at the end of the day, Hulkenberg, of course, 48 points. I did not expect that to happen, of course. Positions gained, 15. How's that been? How was it 15 positions gained? He started 19th. Who knows? But no, positions gained 16. There we go. Overtake 7. That shows just how insane the race actually was, because there was only 7 legitimate overtakes from Hulkenberg. It was just all very, very, very good strategy. Oh my word. I don't know about my setup here. Hopefully it stays. There we go. Oh. It's a bit wobbly. We'll make do. No, I need to change that. I think that's better, because I'm trying to have the iPad here and then everything on else. If I put this down here, yep, I can see that there. And then good. So Hulkenberg, 48 points, best of the best. What does that mean? It means basically if you're budget building next in Spa, you're going to want to bring him in for the F1 Fantasy stuff. Piastri 38 means he's still definitely the best A tier budget to still have in your team. A tier budget, I don't know why I said that. A tier driver. With Norris actually being usable again. If we go to the budget builder, let me get it so it's, you guys can still see what I'm looking at here. Yeah, I'm on the bike. I'm on the exercise bike. 3 hours on it, because Red Bull didn't get a double points finish in Austria and Hamilton didn't get a podium in Silverstone. So a long, long one to do today. But it shouldn't be too bad. I guess it's good to get this in. Although it's quite hot today. That's the only issue. But anyway, Norris, 38 points. Technically brings him back into the usable range, which is good to see. I'm happy about. But do I think I'll be using him? No, because like we've been mentioning, Austria and Silverstone, where he both won, he's still got less points than Piastri. So Piastri's still the top dog when it comes to 80th drivers. Hulkenberg minus 37 is insane. So we can literally take a minus from him. It is absolutely incredible. 20 and 48 points. Type of stuff you see from Hamilton, Russell type, Verstappen type assets in F1 Fantasy. Absolutely incredible. The only issue I have right now is if I use Hulkenberg, I can't afford to go to the Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Mercedes teams. And now I'm definitely 100% on the little bit like, will Mercedes even be good in Spa? Yeah, exactly. It literally is as well, because I don't even know how many, it won't say how many kilometers I've done, but by the end of 3 hours, I'm going to be absolutely shattered. But, where was I? Right, yeah, Mercedes in Spa. That's the good thing about a sprint race weekend. So, normally, I would be a bit like, oh, but in practice sessions, they haven't shown too much, all of this, all of that. Maybe it's better just to budget build one more weekend. But because it's a sprint race weekend, there's more points up for grabs. And it is Spa. It's hard to overtake. Like we saw last year, it was quite hard to overtake. And we saw like Verstappen, who got his 10th-place grid penalty for like changing his engine, I'm pretty sure. And I remember he struggled to get up. He got up to what, 5th, 6th, 7th by the end of the race. So it wasn't ideal for that sort of situation. So that's why sprint race weekend though, that's where I'm getting over to it. That's why Limitless will be a decent option if you've still got Limitless. But also, the likes of the Russell Piastri builds will actually have a massive potential buffer. So we'll see what happens, because we're luckily enough we can see sprint quali and see exactly who we want to use and who we don't want to use. Yeah, and why, I can't remember exactly why they did that, but why did they do that? It just, because like, it must be some sort of safety precaution, right? Because I can't remember the exact storyline as to why they did that, but yeah, it was very, very, very weird. So yeah, so keep an eye out on Piastri, Russell, Mercedes, McLaren builds. We'll see exactly how that all goes though, because yeah, like I mentioned, if it doesn't work out, I'm just going to do one more weekend of budget building with Hulkenberg, potentially even bringing Stroll for that -6 and Behrman. So if I got up my team, if I move this over here, opening a new bar, hopefully I'm signed in. I'm not signed in, that's fantastic. Oh, for God's sake. But anyway, I know I can bring in, the gist of it is I can bring in Stroll, I can bring in Behrman. I could even keep Ocon if I really wanted to. So those 0.6 million budgets are there for the taking if Ferrari still look better and we have to sit with Ferrari one more weekend. But it's annoying because I do want to get over to the Piastri Russell teams for the sprint race. It's such a good opportunity to score points, and I get a lot of people, it doesn't work for a lot of people, and even me, it's still 50-50 because I'd have to take a -10 to get there, even with free transfers, because I can't keep bought. Well, I'm 0.2 off getting Bortoletto, I'm pretty sure. My budget is, if I remember correctly, my budget was, yes, 122.6 now. So we're getting up to the high budget. Aye. So, I believe you need 122.2 on for Piastri, Russell, Mercedes, McLaren builds. So yeah, so I've actually got that up here. Haven't properly read it yet, but I'm assuming it's to do with results not being good enough. Horner, blah blah blah. They're quite quiet on it all. With the Tylers, we like to thank you as part of the Majonia, the last half. They're definitely not talking about it a lot here. Nothing still here. Wow, they were very secretive as to why. I think we all know why. Obviously, there was a lot of turmoil in Red Bull at the minute. So, not everyone's happy. So I feel like, yeah, he was going to get the sack from bad results, basically. So the second driver isn't working. Verstappen's getting a bit infuriated. He's not getting the results that he would like as well. I mean, Verstappen might not even be P3 in the championship much longer if Russell stays as consistent as he has been. So, we'll see. In my opinion of it all is... Red Bull, I don't know, to be fair. They've always had Horner, so it's interesting to see them with someone else. But at the end of the day, yeah, it's been a downward spiral, so he's probably had to go. And I mean, he had so many controversies. I'm surprised he didn't get sacked before then. Yep, Horner is gone, yeah. And the team principal for Racing Bulls has stepped up to Red Bull. And the second in command at Racing Bulls has stepped up to Racing Bulls. So, proper reshuffle at Red Bull. Probably the best time to do it, bar the summer break, because they've got technically 2.5 weeks till Spa. So I guess they've got time to acclimatise. Do I think it will change anything this season? No, I really don't think it will. Does anyone think it will? Because, you know, the car, the philosophy's the same. Red Bull are sort of in a downward spiral no matter what at the minute. So it's definitely a change, more focusing on 2026 and seeing where they can improve at that point. Lewis and Charge both did pretty well last year. I'm thinking kicking out Bott and Ferrari, placing with Ham or kick, or just go Law in for Bott and roll a transfer. See, I do agree that a lot of the drivers who did well last season could do well here. Just obviously be wary of Hamilton being in that different car. And also, we saw last weekend why I'm not the biggest fan of the McLaren Sauber teams, because you're relying on it's risky going with no DNS from Sauber, plus expecting Sauber to do absolutely brilliant every single weekend, and they have to do brilliant every single weekend. And I love Hulkenberg, but will he get another top 3? No. Will he get a top 5? Probably not as well. It'll be, if he had another good result, it'd be 7th, 8th, and 9th, or 10th. But yeah, I still prefer McLaren Ferrari builds at the minute for now. Also, just for the fact that McLaren weren't that rapid around here last season. This season, we've seen how good they are, so I expect Piastri and Norris to be battling it right at the front, as per usual. So we'll see exactly what we should do with that. Friend in Red Bull said Horner had no idea he was going to get sacked. Completely shocked, and apparently might look to go to Ferrari. Yeah, so I did think, because obviously Horner's a big name in F1, he won't be out of work for long. But, yeah, I don't know. Ferrari, I think... How happy are Ferrari with Vasseur at the minute? Because it's not going perfect, but at the minute, they're second in the Constructors, so technically, like, it's nowhere near McLaren, but they're where they probably thought they would be this season in P2. So, I think it'd be harsh to get rid of Vasseur. Also for Horner, I don't know about Horner at Ferrari, that would be... that's just on my thinking of it. I don't know about Horner at Ferrari. That just doesn't sound right, does it? Do you think 3 times would be an option if going triple McLaren? If you're going triple McLaren, yes, it is. However, just be cautious because, again, I still prefer stuff like extra DRS at tracks like Kota and Brazil when we get loads more overtaking. Because extra DRS, it is just a 3 times on the top driver, and at a place like Spa, yeah, probably if you're at the top, you're not going to get many overtakes, and you're probably going to get maximum 25 for the win, 10 for the pole, 10 for fastest lap, which would be 45, which is great. But at a place like Kota or Brazil, if Piastri or Norris was to qualify high with different strategies and such, they could be overtaking once they get out the pits. That you can overtake. It becomes a situation of, well, okay, they might be able to get 50 plus points. So keep that in the bank just in case. But I would say don't rush into the extra DRS. A long season ahead. That's my thinking of it for now. Horner news will be interesting to see what other news is announced in the next week. Second RBC, Max Alpine. Yeah, there's so much, man. There's so much in F1 that's being announced. So we're getting to that point where we're getting to 2026 silly season. Because what's it called? This is the time of the year. Now you've got so many things of the Alpine situation of Colapinto has not been doing well enough. But Doohan wasn't doing well enough. Who the hell did they go for? Did they just do what Haas did? Because remember, Haas were trying this situation. Not exactly, because Alpine still have Gasly. But Haas were like, we want to go for young talent, build the team around them. While they push up, we push up sort of thing. And I say young talent. They probably just young in the case of Mazepin. But Schumacher, there was talent. But not top one. But Haas then just sacked it off, didn't they? They were like, okay, this isn't working. Bring in 2 experienced drivers of Magnussen and Hulkenberg. And when did Alpine just sack it off and go, okay, this isn't working with Doohan and Colapinto. Let's bring in someone like a Perez or a Bottas or, I mean, hey, even a Ricciardo. Just anyone with experience, that sort of driver can be used. Also, I've got 1.1 spare budget, have 3 transfers, Piastri, Ferrari, McLaren, Bortoletto. Behrman, Hulkenberg and Alonso, good. Still have Limitless, we've only Bortoletto to full, not so much. I would take the Limitless if you've still got it, because, no, I wouldn't wait till Hungary. The more you wait, the more people have chances. There's even, at the minute, yeah, I kid you not, there's people who can afford to go Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Ferrari. So we're getting to the point where it doesn't affect you per se, but like the people you're trying to get points off of at the top of the ranks, they're not losing as many points as they would on you at the start of the season you was using Limitless. So last sprint race weekend, before everything goes crazy for the second half of the season, I would say use it in Spa, even with that 0.4 down. 100%. Hey, Oz, how you doing, man? 100%, yeah. My Limitless team for Spa, without seeing anything, would be Ferrari, McLaren Ferrari, Piastri ×2, Norris, Verstappen, Leclerc, maybe Russell. We'll see how Hamilton does, but it's normally around those sorts of people. If Mercedes do better, you go for McLaren Mercedes. That's the sort of gist of it. Again, another great reason to use it in Limitless sprint race weekend. We'll know exactly who to pick after sprint quali, so that's always nice. I think they should keep Fred. Yeah, I'm happy with them. I'm happy with them to keep Fred. I think he's doing a good enough job. And like at the end of the day, Ferrari aren't where they're supposed to be, but they're still P2 in the championship. That's big. That's big. They are still P2. What about Limitless? Yeah, Limitless 100% usable. So happy though, cut down gap to lead of my league to 100 points, have 5 million more budget. He went with Merck McLaren straight away, gained loads of budget, but stuck with the budget. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So after using Limitless in Spa, that 100 point gap, no joke, will probably be 0 if it's a good Limitless weekend. So that will mean after Spa, you'll be probably ahead or on par with this person. You'll have more budget than them, so I'm assuming you'll be able to go to the big budget teams very, very soon, if not now-ish. And that means all you're going to do is pull further and further away. Yeah, so Urs, you are 100% correct. I'm concerned for Limitless if it rains in Spa. So if it rains, of course, no negative will 100% be the way to go. So we have no idea if it will rain just yet. I'm hoping it bloody won't, because I'll be camping there. But let's say it does rain, without a doubt, even if you still have Limitless, then you could look at Limitless in Hungary or somewhere like that. Because no negative around Spa when it's raining, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous if it's raining. Or it's one of those situations where the race doesn't even start, like in, was it 2021 or 2020? Where the race didn't even start because of just how bad the rain was. All I know was Russell got a podium, and it was like one of the weirdest races of all time. Can you even classify it as a race? We had a qualifying session. Even that qualifying session was crazy though. Right. I could have 2 times, 3 times last race with all those Hulk points low. Yeah, no, I'm not joking. We all could have. That's absolutely crazy how that's actually 100% correct. Hulkenberg, I mean, Adam was showing me, because I went to him after the race and I was like, you just know that there was some crazy person who went autopilot for Silverstone, just like off a whim. And they would have autopiloted from Piastri, Norris, whoever they had, to Hulkenberg. And then he shows me a photo, and I can't remember exactly who the team was. But yeah, someone had used autopilot, and it swapped Piastri over to Hulkenberg. And what a result! Because that autopilot was a 10-point gap. So 20 points delta for an autopilot is not too bad at all. Considering sometimes you'll use autopilot and you won't even get anything out of it because your top driver will do good enough, and it's like, well, okay, cool. So absolute seeds. I think normally I'm looking at autopilot. My back, man. I'm looking at autopilot around a track. Potentially Mercedes look good for if I have Russell, Piastri. Or hey, even by that point, potentially the likes of Piastri, Leclerc, Piastri, Hamilton. So a race where Ferrari or Mercedes look better, then I could use autopilot, put it on Piastri or put it on Leclerc as okay, if Leclerc gets it, cool. Autopilot, if it doesn't work out, sort of thing. But autopilot's probably one of the hardest chips to predict exactly what to do and when, because it is, especially with where McLaren are right now, it's very much, hey, hope Piastri or Norris doesn't get the most amount of points and hope that you have the next best one, which is really, really hard to predict when that will happen. So we'll see exactly with autopilot. But yeah, XGDRS, I'm not the biggest fan of around Spa. Again, I think you can just wait for it. Limitless, I'm a fan of if it doesn't rain and you've still got it. However, if it does rain, no negative, use Limitless later. No negative, you know what, I could do with it raining. Not in my actual personal life in Spa, but racing wise, if it rained, not like monsoon rain like we sometimes get at Spa, but just enough to add a little bit of spice so that we get, I don't know, one of the big names DNFing. Like, I would hate for Piastri to DNF as a fan in Spa, but let's say we're all running Piastri, someone's got no negative on Piastri and he DNFs, that is instantly Obviously, it probably wouldn't be a -20, but let's just say it is -20. Worst case scenario, DNF on the first lap. That would become a -40? Something like that. If it does 2 times. I honestly can't remember if it does 2 times the negative points, because it rarely happens in F1 Fantasy. If this happened to anyone, put it down below. So we'll see. But then that would be a massive gap, because then obviously with your no negative, you just get the qualifying sprint quali points. No, sprint race points. So actually, yeah, it definitely wouldn't be -20, but it'd probably be around -5, -4 points if Piastri was to DNF on the first lap of the race. But still, that would be an absolute nightmare, and with no negative, you'd be like, cool, everyone has him, I got a no negative. Easy peasy. Should we swap Ball for Lawson? Yes. 100%. If that's probably the best, like, cheap for cheap asset to do. Now, I would say, because a lot of people had a lot of budget left over, like me. So I have the likes of Ocon and Bortoletto. Now, for me, if I don't go McLaren Mercedes, I will be doing Ocon to Behrman and Bortoletto to Stroll. Again, not much faith in Stroll. However, -6 should do the job at least. And again, if it rains, we've seen how good he is in the rain apparently. Stroll is just such a funny driver, man. How does he always pull something like this off? It's absolutely incredible. Always shocks me. But yeah, if you can't afford to go up to Stroll, bring in Lawson, take it as the 0 minimum, can't go down while you have him sort of thing, and then you're good as gold. Aye, it's so hot, man. It's so hot on this. Whew. Were you in range to see both Haas spin together? Sadly, no. It was, I believe it was the corners before the back straight? So we would have just not seen it. No. But it's so funny, man. What, that entire race was just ridiculous. But in a good way, that's what we love to see in F1. Whew, aye. Because at least, especially at Silverstone when there's changeable weather, never a boring race at all. But we'll see what Spa's like, 100%. Because I don't know actually where I'll sit, because I've got general admission, so I'll probably just we'll walk about on the Friday and the Saturday, trying to figure out exactly where we want to sit and stuff. Because of course we'll want to sit around the Eau Rouge area for a bit of it, but also I want to check out other parts of the track. F1 race tyre turned blade frame. And it was both the teammates as well. It was very impressive how in sync they were, I will give you that. And I can't believe, where did Behrman actually end up finishing? It wasn't terrible, was it? British GP results. I believe Behrman was 12th, maybe 11th. Yeah. How after all of that was Behrman 11th? And I mean, also, can we just appreciate how Russell was 10th? Like, what happened to Mercedes that... I mean, I know what happened I don't even know why I'm asking. I know what happened to Mercedes that race. It was absolutely dreadful. Same with Carlos Sainz. He looked like he could qualify. He qualified well, could do well. Leclerc, probably the biggest disappointing race. Bar Antonelli, but I don't think you can really say Antonelli's was a bad race, because at the end of the day, if he finished, it would have been, but because he wasn't doing well. But you never know. With that many safety cars and stuff, he might have been able to get back into the top 7, top 8. Who actually knows? Colapinto probably had the worst weekend out of everyone. It was just bad after bad. Poor guy, man. Just, he needs to catch a break in that Alpine. Of course, Hulkenberg had the best race of anyone. Piastri Norris, that was hilarious. These two, man. Oh, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving Piastri versus Norris now because they're gonna start getting feisty with each other soon. It can't stay all lovey-dovey for forever, and we're starting to see that. 100% we're starting to see that because Piastri was fuming, and rightfully so. Like, you know, like, he's allowed to be angry. Did he deserve the penalty? I mean, just look at the onboards with people like Hulkenberg. I don't know what Piastri was doing. 10 seconds harsh, but what else is he gonna get for that? So I get it. He's annoyed with himself. He's annoyed with the team, and then when he asked to swap positions, too funny. Because I mean, I was like, fair enough, you can ask, go for it. But I did not think he was gonna go for it. So I heard the front suspension for Norris that is supposed to be new is the same suspension from last year. What? See, we're getting this point where didn't we have that with Ferrari as well, where in Monaco they brought back like the design of like where they were going in 2024, and it's like what are these teams doing, man? Like, especially Ferrari on these sorts of things. It's like, we're gonna design a whole new car for 2025. It's gonna be brilliant. It's like, why? 1 year left of these regulations, arguably the first/second fastest car at the end of the season, and then they completely cocked it up. Yeah, no, it's like such a Ferrari thing to do, and it's so annoying that they did it. It very much is annoying. Because I would have loved a championship fight between Ferrari and McLaren. We've got a good championship fight, at least against Norris and Piastri, which again, I thought after Canada, I didn't think it was over 100%, but I thought after Canada, if Norris didn't get that win in Austria, what would that have made it? It would have made it 30-ish point gap if Piastri won in Austria, and then if he won in Silverstone, it would have been 40-odd points. It would be easily doable from Norris, but how great is 8-point gap, I believe it is right now, compared to what we could have had, which could have been around 30-40. Oh, it's brilliant. I can't wait to see who wins it, but I feel like whoever does win it, the other is going to be mad, because, of course, as a McLaren fan, I hope McLaren are passed in 2026, but McLaren, I can't remember the last time came into a new regulation with the idea of being like, we're going to be the fastest car, and even if they had that idea, it worked out. I mean, probably the last one was the 2010 regs. And to be fair, they were fast in 2010. However, they were about as reliable as... I didn't even know as how reliable they were. They were not reliable at all. And that completely ruined their season. Seasons, actually. That entire regulations, the McLaren was riddled with reliability issues. So we'll see exactly what happens in 2026, but my money's still on Mercedes to be the top. And then it will probably be Aston, McLaren, around that sort of area. Again, even with Newey, I'd be surprised if Aston was straight up like the fastest car on the grid. It will take some time, but hey, Newey works his magic, so never underestimate what they can do. Even if McLaren is faster, fast in early races, Norris was not happy with the car, and now you've seen him with so much better handling. Yeah, I mean, that car for Norris at the start, he was not happy, was he? It's a hard one to explain because he could also just be getting better to grips with the car, because it has been 12 rounds. It has been 12 rounds of this season now. We are officially at the halfway point, which, by the way, insane, because it feels like yesterday when this season started, and we're actually in the halfway point. So all to play for, and right now as well, at the halfway point, McLaren are predicted what? So McLaren, if they continue with the way they're going, could get almost 900 points this season, more potentially. Yeah, hang on. Let me get up the standings, because I want to do the maths here. 460. Yeah, McLaren are projected, if they continue the exact same way, to get 920 points. How insane is that? Has who ever got close to 920 points before? In 2023, Red Bull got 860, and that was pure dominance. But that was just because Max was Max. In 2024, it wouldn't have been it. 2023, 2022, 2021 wouldn't have been it. Maybe 2020. No, 2020 was a much shorter calendar season. Go away. 2019. What were Mercedes saying in 2019? 739. No, from my head, this could be like historic in the making. Like, I don't think they'll get 1,000 points, but my God, if they carry on the way they're going, they could be close to it. Hey Zach, any comments on the podium etiquette? Was disappointed to see the McLaren boys not really celebrate with Hulk. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't. I don't know what was going on there. Because, like, Norris, was it Norris or Piastri? One of them did eventually go up to Hulkenberg at the end. But it's like, why? Why? I think, for me, what it looked like is, especially Norris got over, a bit carried away with home GP win. So he wanted to celebrate with Zach Brown and stuff over on the McLaren side. Piastri was in a strop because he had lost the race and he didn't really care. So then there was just Hulkenberg there. And then, I mean, even Hulkenberg, people have been saying that he didn't celebrate hard enough. But I don't really know what they wanted him to do. So, we'll see what happens, because Hulkenberg, I mean, that we won't see him on the podium, I don't think, anytime soon again. But to be fair, the after celebrations looked mental from Sauber, which was good, because they should be celebrating after that, because it's been a long time coming for Hulkenberg. 15 years. Very much deserved. So we'll see where it goes from there. Yeah, back in like 2012. Yeah. Was it? Yeah, it was something like that. Kobayashi the GOAT. 8 years. 8 years? That wouldn't have been Kobayashi then. Because Kobayashi was in Sauber. Kobayashi was in Sauber 2010. No, 2011, 2012 maybe? Yeah, maybe 2013 it could have been, yeah. Yeah, maybe something like that. Honestly, just get Hulk a good car. I agree. Like, we've never actually seen Hulk in a good car. Which is such a shame as well, because you remember in 2023 when Aston were good. And Hulk was there. I don't know what Hulk was exactly to the team. But he was around. And it was... Who was... No, it wasn't Aston. It wasn't 2023. It was 2021. It was 2021. Racing Point. Perez, I think. Was it Perez or Stroll had an issue? Hulkenberg had to come in for technically the Silverstone Grand Prix and then the whatever else they called it Grand Prix, because it was one of those. It was the season. It might have been 2020 then. It might have been 2020 actually. My memory, man. But basically, Hulkenberg was in a Racing Point for 2 races or one of them, and I remember just thinking, I wish we got to see more of him that season, because maybe he could have done a little bit. Also, yeah, Billy Talent, great band, yeah, very much like them. So we'll see, because I know the latest rumours are like, Hulkenberg should go to Red Bull, and it's like, really, I really don't want him to go to Red Bull. I mean, if there's a spot at Red Bull, I get it. Like, it is still Red Bull, but really, is that all we can get? I mean, Ferrari's a no-go, Mercedes is a no-go. Hey, Aston, please, get rid of Stroll. Get rid of Stroll. Go with Alonso Hulkenberg. Aston are the annoying team, aren't they? Because if they really are this fast next season or in 2027, I can't think of. I'm not even kidding you. Like, genuinely, when I say this, I could not stand Aston being the fastest team, in the sense of, if they are the fastest team like McLaren have been this season, it will be the most boring season of all time. Now, I would love for it to be Alonso to be the easiest win of his life, but imagine, championship winning car, you've got, let's say it is Alonso and Stroll. You've got Alonso. He's going to be winning all the races. And then you've got Stroll. He's not even going to be close. Which is so annoying. Because that's what I worry about Aston coming into these sorts of seasons. It could be a bore fest if they don't get rid of Stroll. And please do. I swear, if they get rid of Alonso and keep Stroll, it could be even worse. Imagine Verstappen or someone went to Aston and it was with Stroll. It would genuinely be 2023 all over again if Verstappen went there and had Stroll as a teammate. Do we have any more circuits similar to Monaco this year? Right, yeah, so we've got quite a few street circuits still coming up. So, of course, we've still got Singapore. Can't really overtake there. Who else do we have on the grid? Good question. Elite data. That's not the elite data I'm looking for. Season summary. That's not what I'm looking for. Statistics. Yeah, kind of like, 100%. Well, not even Red Bull and Tsunoda. Oh, wait, no, my bad. Like 2023, Verstappen and Perez sort of thing. If Red Bull were fastest as well, Verstappen, Tsunoda. All of these teams where it's like, if they are the best car on the grid, it's going to just be an absolute nightmare. So, you've got Singapore, which will be a bore fest, but obviously it's still good fun. Hungary, even still, I wouldn't say it's as bad as Monaco and stuff, but Hungary, sometimes it can be a little bit challenging to overtake there. I would say those two are the only, ones I could consider being okay, not too much looking forward to, but, I am looking forward to Hungary, but not crazy amounts. Zandvoort will be good, Monza will be good, Baku will be good. Kota normally is good. Mexico, maybe. I mean, it's not a Monaco track, but Mexico sometimes is quite difficult to overtake on. Brazil, great. Vegas. Vegas actually was good, to be fair, last time. Qatar, I always like, but again, it is quite hard to overtake at Qatar sometimes. And Abu Dhabi's good because it's the final race of the season, and hopefully we're going to have a massive showdown between Norris and Piastri with... I don't know which one I hope to be the winner of it all, but we'll see when we get there. Also, can we appreciate over the entire season, where is Hulk's average? Look at the averages. That's him. He is him. Hulkenberg, 11.4 average to Antonelli's 8.4. I mean, hey, even Behrman and Ocon, what a brilliant duo they've been at Haas at the minute. F1 fantasy-wise, I should say. Because in actual F1, it's not crazy. It's not crazy bad, but where are they in a minute? 9th, yeah. I mean, they're still in the area of Sauber Bulls and Martins. Don't know why I said Aston Martin and Racing Bulls like that. So it's going to be a nice little battle. I mean, hey, even Alpine could get in it to win it eventually, but they need to pick up the pace because Actually, no, they don't need to pick up the pace. Actually, they need a second driver. Like, I don't know what's happened to Colapinto of recent, because he was so promising those first few races of Williams, then just went crash after crash after crash, and then I was like, just be careful of Colapinto when he comes. Will he start crashing? And guess what? He's done exactly that. Crash after crash after crash, and it's like, oh, come on, Colapinto, why? Why are you doing this? Right, full focus. Don't cramp up yet. We've still got 2 hours 45 minutes. Oh my god, this is gonna be long. Aye, aye, aye. Whew. 3 hours, man. 3 hours. What's going on with Williams? Not much. I think basically they've just hit their end point, I guess you could call it, where Williams always said this season that they're going to stop upgrades, they're focusing on 2026 and stuff, and we're seeing that very clearly now. So I'd still be very happy if Williams got 100 points, and they're on track for 100 points, which is good. But I don't know, they haven't looked on it, have they? Like, from what they looked in Australia, that Australia race pace looked so incredible. I've got to stop this from turning off and on all the time. Auto lock, here we go. No auto lock, because I need to move this seat backwards. It's doing my nutting. So we'll see what happens with Williams, because they're gonna either just about do it on 100 points or just about miss out on the 100 points, which will be so disappointing if they do. I've just realised I've moved too far back now where I can't even touch the laptop, so hopefully that's also why I tried to move back a little bit. Hopefully it's a little bit better now, but this is a squeaky machine. How do we get access to F1 Fantasy to issue a limited edition tee available for the top 1,000 finishers? Honestly, you can't really. I don't think they really care about the prizes. That's why they only give it for the top 3. Which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, F1 Fantasy is still in that position where they're not really pushing it that well. So maybe eventually they will. Maybe they will, but for now, they're not doing it anytime soon. Which is a little annoying. Oh, for mama. I would never cheat. I would never. Although, it is only 45 minutes in and I'm already feeling, my legs are feeling it. So I'm like, aye. What a lovely way to spend the morning. Aye. Well, I'm pretty sure you can still hear it from here at least. But I've got to give my back some support, man. Aye. Whew. So, with Lawson as well, in F1 Fantasy. Remind me of why you are on there for 3 hours? Right, so basically, in Austria, I had the great idea of going, you know what? I haven't had a forfeit for a little bit now. Let me try saying Red Bull double points finish. Like, whoa, Red Bull double points finish. I was like, Verstappen's going to be on the podium. Sonoda's going to be in the points. It's going to be a great race. And I think we all remember exactly how that finished. So that didn't come around. So then I was like, okay, Silverstone, of course, had so much to do with Silverstone. So basically, from Tuesday to Sunday was chock-a-block. So physically couldn't do the forfeit. So then I was like, for Silverstone, I was like, okay, well, if Hamilton doesn't get a podium, I'll just do both of them in one sitting. So I'll do a 3-hour session on the exercise bike. Which, now that I say it out loud, I'm regretting. But you've got to do it, so it's fine. McLaren definitely going to be the highest scoring constructor in a single season. I'm guessing 850, 900 points if they stay this dominant. Yeah, so on actual like points, realistically, like if it was bar for bar, first half of the season to second half of the season, McLaren would get exactly 920 points. So that's 920 points. Not anything like crazy happens. That's what they would get. So I would be surprised. Yeah, F101. I think I agree with you. It'd probably be more like 850, 900 because eventually we're probably going to get another crash. Although we've had crashes with Piastri and Norris. So who knows? They may even be able to score more points second half of the season. We've had races where they haven't won. So hey, it could be even more, but definitely it will be more than I think they'll get more than the 860 Red Bull got in 2023, which is such a weird feeling because I don't know about you, everyone in the chat, but when I think of dominant cars, I guess it's because Verstappen won every single race basically that season, but even if McLaren scored more than the Red Bulls in 2023, I will still think in my head that the Verstappen and Red Bull was more dominant. Because we've already had Russell win a race. We've already had Verstappen win a race. 2 races, to be fair to him. Imola and Japan. So there's 3 different races McLaren haven't won at already. And that Red Bull was just insanity. Considering only one other team won a race that season. I don't think that will be ever topped again. It's like how if you go back to the 80s, people might be asking, well, which car was more dominant? The Senna-Prost McLaren that almost won every single race of the season. If what's his face? Who was in the Williams? Someone was in the Williams, crashed into Senna when he was in the lead of the race, and Berger won the race. I actually made a video about it. But basically, I would still say for McLaren that season was their more dominant season. Obviously, a lot of different point scoring positions, but 100% you're going to be seeing people at the end of this season, if it carries on like this, saying this is incredible and probably the most dominant season in F1. But I think I'd have to disagree on it. The turn where Antonelli hits Verstappen was the same where he and Norris touched. Norris had a puncher. What, from 2024? From 2024, yeah. Which is, to be fair, it's always that. It's that area of the track, isn't it? Always. Go skydiving for the next challenge of McLaren, finishing 900 points. To be fair, like, I think I'd actually enjoy that. So I don't know how much of a forfeit it'd be. Piastri hasn't had a DNF for the last 39 races he has ran. What a hero for McLaren. How long can it last? Hopefully the entire season, because I want him to make history. But without a doubt, 100% modest. Without a doubt, 100% I full-heartedly believe there will be a big crash between him and Norris. This won't be the last one in Canada, and he will have a DNF because of it. It won't be mechanical, it will be a DNF. And this season there isn't one dominant driver, it's more a dominant car. Yeah, agreed. So that's why I think it's hard to say it's been so dominant, because technically in the history books, more likely than not, unless everyone catches up rapidly, this will be, like we mentioned, the most a constructor has ever scored in a season. And it's so hard to have different factors in it, because like I mentioned, the McLaren from the 80s, where it won every single race bar one, should have won all the races. I still think that was more dominant. I still think the Red Bull 2023 was more dominant in the hands of Verstappen. So, it depends on context, I guess. Yeah, good drivers in a dominant car. But, I don't know, because even with Verstappen's situation, Verstappen, we know, had a great car in 2023, but Verstappen's Verstappen as well. So it's so hard to pinpoint if how good that car genuinely was. Without a doubt, by the way, without a doubt, still the fastest car. But, like, how do we know, and we'll never know, if that Red Bull was, like, as fast as one of the Mercedes in the Mercedes era? Like, it generally could have been that situation, but because Verstappen was so brilliant, he made it look like it was more dominant than it was. So it's interesting because there's so many different seasons people could say we're dominant. We'll see. But no, for my next forfeit's going to be really fun because I'm going to be building a sim setup over the next few weeks, and yeah, it's really difficult because I obviously I've never built a sim setup before. So I've got to figure out exactly what is good, what is bad, and I can't for the life of me decide on a GT setup or a Formula setup, because Formula setups look super cool, but they're like double the price for what? It's almost the same thing, like double the price for a slight change in how you're sitting in it. Which I get is the whole point of a sim setup, but I don't know. I've got a lot to think about it for that. And even still, I want it to work with PC and PlayStation, which also limits how much I can, how many sim setups I can do. Because also I've seen people saying to buy these converter stuff if you buy one for PC, but apparently those can be a little bit glitchy, and it's like, but if I'm paying all this money for a setup, yeah, if I'm paying all this money for a setup, I don't really want it to be glitchy. So then it comes down to, well, if I need to get a PlayStation setup as well, then I've got to buy a Fanatec, and then I've heard bad things about Fanatec as well. So a lot to think about. But right now, I think it's going to go down to what was I looking at? I was looking at the GT Omega summer sale one, potentially for the cockpit. I was looking at either one of those Fanatec bundles or the what was it, like the Sim Sigil or something. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but one of those ones looked good as well. But I'd have to get the converter for that, and that's where I go to how bad is Fanatec if I really want to get a converter instead. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Mercedes 2020, although not thought to be particularly dominant, I believe to be the fastest car in history. Yeah, and like stuff like that, where it's like we will never truly know how fast all of these cars were, especially because that season, 2020, of course, Hamilton won quite easily, but there was issues around that season. Of course, it was the COVID season, so it was a shorter season, so we didn't get to see a full season. Hamilton didn't even race in all the races. Mercedes had Bottas, and 2020 Bottas, he was starting to trundle off a little bit. So it was just a whole thing. Get GT set up with Formula Wheel. What Formula Wheel? Hang on. I thought I should just get up the chat on my phone, shouldn't I? That's easier. Buy a fiberglass body of a Ferrari and put the seat wheel in it and play on the projector. How much money do you think I have, Oz? My budget is gonna be about my budget will be about $1,500-ish. So it's a big budget for it, but it's not as it's sadly not anything like that. Horner to Ferrari, a good idea? I don't think so. I don't want Horner at Ferrari. I really don't. I think that'd be harsh on Fred. And also, if I've got... Ors, do you have a setup? Does anyone have a setup what they use? Because I wanna go high end, and I would really love to know anyone who has it. Is there really a big difference in the GT setup to the Formula setup? Because at the end of the day, also, I'm not gonna only be playing in Formula cars. I will be playing stuff like Gran Turismo. I probably will be playing stuff like iRacing. I will be. It's just, I don't know. Decisions. It's a hard one. Yeah, let me get up the chat on my phone. This is just a so much better choice. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. I've just realised as well, on the channel... Wait, hang on. Is everyone else seeing what I'm seeing on my screen? Hang on. What's going on here then? No, that all looks fine. What is going on? I think my iPad's a bit bugged. Is the screen okay for everyone? I just lay down on my bed and use my gyro controller, same position. Also, I'd like to donate some oil for your bike. Oh, mate. So I've actually heard the oil in my bike's about £50 million, please. No, I'm not even chatting rubbish, yours, because literally I've never had a sim setup, so this is gonna be a first time getting it. So I'm very used to controller. I'm not even kidding. I remember I used controller for a while. And I'm so used to controller now. I genuinely do have to. I struggle a little bit to move over. I got a Logitech G29 PS5 and a desk. Does the job, puts in top 3% laps. Want to invest more in the setup or wait until things like Black Friday and Christmas? Yeah, that's the other thing. I'd love to wait until Black Friday and stuff, but I'm one of those people where it's like because I'm moving out on Friday, so that's why I can get the racing sim. Because in my I guess you could say childhood home, there's not enough space to put a racing sim in. So now that I'm moving out, there actually is sorry, or is this distracting me from my from my story? No. So now that there is enough room, I'm getting it because I'm moving out. So yeah, we'll see. But I basically set aside, like I said, I set aside a grand 500-ish for it, and with a grand 500, I can get a nice cockpit. I've heard pedals are the most important thing. Can anyone agree on that, or tell me if they know if that's true? Because apparently pedals are the best for like the feel and stuff of it. But also, I want to get a very cool wheel and the actual thing that connects it, because I don't even care about my timings. I just want to feel like I'm in the car, like, you know what I mean? I think that's the main thing for me on this one. But yeah, I know a lot of people. A lot of people have that setup. Although, from what I've been reading online, everyone always goes, "Oh, you gotta get the Moser R3, R5, or whatever." Pedals for realism, but wheel for actual pace and game. Oh, okay. Good to know. Okay. Because I don't know. Also, on these sorts of things, I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, how much better can it physically get? Like, once you have one of those, like, Formula Wheel ones, like, what's the difference between that one and, like, the one with all of those fancy buttons on? Because realistically, do I really need all those fancy buttons? It looks cool, but is it 100, 200 quid more worth of cool? I don't know. But alright, that's good to know. What engine is on the bike? Yep. Zach V2. Nah, mate, these are at least a V4. I don't know where the other two's coming from. I mean, hey, no, V4. My arms as well. There you go. I'm not gonna make that joke. Zach would win with no tires needed, so no pit stops. Hey, I would probably say that I'm still faster than Colapinto in the wet. Because hey, it'd take me a good, if I was to do 52 laps, was it, around Silverstone? If I was to do 51, 52 laps around Silverstone walking, yes, it would take me a day, probably more than a day. Yeah, definitely more than a day actually. It'd probably take me like a week. But hey, I wouldn't crash out, so I'd still finish before him. Try playing truck simulators. Looks so damn fun, mate. Yeah, so even that's the cool thing. I swear, you could play them on Sims as well, innit? Right? Oh my gosh. Nah, that's fine. You know, there's so many different ways to spell Zach as well. Like, there's my way. Z-A-C-H, there's Z-A-C, there's Z-A-K, there's Z-A-C-K. Even in Zachary, there's Z-A-C-K-A-R-Y, which is what my name is. You've got Zachary, which is Z-A-C-K-E-R-Y. Which is like crazy. I didn't even know that was a way you could spell it. Then you got Zachariah. Sure, Zach Bell. I can't say I've ever heard that one. Zachariah. Is that different? Zachariah, I guess you could probably say is still like a Zach related one. So yeah, lots of different ways to do it. Cool, come on. What is the time? It's 12:32, so that means I've still got like 2 hours of this. Release me. Yeah, oh, that could be my dinosaur name as well. And if, you know what, if I was a dinosaur, I'd like to think I would be a, I don't know, a Stegosaurus. They're pretty cool. They got like spikes and stuff, which I think is pretty cool. And they like, no, wait, is that the Stegosaurus or is that the, damn dinosaurs. There's the one with the spikes and the one with the bull. You can already tell I'm losing. I'm losing it on this, man. Oh, here we go. Big goose. This is actually big. All right. I have the Fanatec DD Pro wheelbase with Fanatec CLS pedals, load cell brakes, GT and Mega Titan. Yeah, so the Titan cockpit was one of the ones that I was looking at. So, can you tell me? Because I obviously I don't know in your experience. Because I'm also looking at a GT cockpit, just because the Formula cockpits look they look so overpriced, considering how different really is it. How does it feel being in the GT cockpit? Because your setup sounds very, very similar to what I'm looking at. Because I was looking at getting the CSL V2s, I think they were. I was also looking at getting one of the Fanatec Formula wheels, potentially. And also, I do like the fact that it does go PS5 PC compatible. Because like I could go somewhere else and get a converter, but I've heard such bad things about these converters where it just like stops working halfway through. So it's like, oh, Fanatec does sound the best if I want to use it on my PS5 sort of thing. But yeah, because definitely, and yeah, GT Omega looked like the best bang for buck. And when I've been looking at reviews on it, or like YouTube reviews and stuff, everyone says, like, considering the price, it is really sturdy. It holds strong. So yeah, it'd be nice to know how it feels and stuff. I'd get a PS5 if I win my league. Wait, Oz. Wait, why so? Why so? What? What's the? Why is that the price situation? Aye. I'm gonna need a pit stop in a minute to refuel up. I've already gone through a pint and a half of squash. Actually, that was good fun. We had fun trying to explain squash to Greg and Adam. Because you don't get squash in... Well, you do get squash in America, but not used as much. Nah, it's the first place prize. But yeah, what is it, like a league? Is it like a family league? Yeah. To be fair, I'm sweating it all out. So, and luckily, I don't need to go to. I don't need to do anything else at the minute. Which, you know what? If I have to stop and do that, I'm keeping it on the timer. Like, screw that. But no, how long is left? We've still got... So I can tell you, everyone. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Makes sense, yeah. Yeah. Oh, go on, then. I hope you win that. You can easily win that, 100%. If you've been working on that budget, 100% you're going to wipe the floor. Guaranteed. Oh, here we go, here we go. Like 10, 15 people? Yeah, you've got this in the bag, Horse. I believe. I 100% believe. You know what? Modest. I don't really know. This is the first time I'm seeing it because I don't actually see it on the iPads. So we'll see. Hang on, I'll get back onto it. But apparently you guys have got XP. Like, Big Goose has 125 XP. I don't know what you can do with XP. Oz, you've got 125 as well. Modest, you got 75. I really don't know what the XP does, but hey. Actually, you know what? I can read into it, actually. So, let's see what this is. A place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream so you can always try again. Do I have any special badges? I don't know how that works. You know what? I need to start doing something like that. I might need to get like a ZatGP badge to put in the chat or something. I don't know. But I don't know what special badge you'll get with it. Maybe it's like a generic YouTube one? Who knows? But yeah, right. Oh yeah, Big Goose. My bad. Yeah. The seating position is great. The cockpit is sturdy. That's good. That was the main thing I wanted to make sure. No flex. I played the forming games on it. Asset, Corsa, Gran Turismo. Yeah, so it sounds like you're playing the same sort of stuff I will be playing on this sim. You can. I don't mind missing out on Formula Style. Yeah, see, and that's the position I'm in because I don't think I care enough about the Formula position to pay. Like, I was looking at the play seat stuff, and to put it into context, like the GT Omega stuff, you can get the GT Omega stuff in the summer sale and all of that rubbish for like £300 to £500 for everything, with a monitor stand, with all of this. Whereas the play seat, I'd have to pay 500 quid just for the seat. Not even the monitor stand. The monitor stand, I've got to pay extra for all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden, I'm paying £600 instead of £300, £400. And it's like, oh, really? Considering all of the other stuff already is going to be about £1,200, £300. I think, yeah. I think I agree on you there. I think I might go with the GT Omega sort of position. Because again, yeah, as well, I feel like I'm not going to be just playing Formula games. So, yeah. 117.8 million Oars on budget. First place got 115 with no chips. I've all except no. Oh, Oars! You're easily gonna win, mate. That is. Oh, mate, you've got this in the bag. So, Oz, if you'd use... Have you used Limitless yet, Oz? I mean, if you haven't, you know to use it in Spa. If it starts raining, no negative. I know you said you've used no negative, right? Yeah, you've used no negative, so hopefully it doesn't rain for you. But, mate, you've got this in the bag. More budget, more chips. They're only 100 points, did you say, ahead of you? Hey, well, this is the best place to learn about it. We got, like, at this point, I don't even know what this channel's about F1 related wise. Because, of course, F1 Fantasy, big staple of the channel. But I also do history, F1 history videos. I do my reactions to the Grand Prix reviews. Experiences, apparently, now. Which, you know what? I might do a little day in the life sort of one at Spa. Because my bad. Oh, shit. Oh. What's it called? Because in Spa I'll have clearance to do whatever I want because I'm just going as a fan. So I can do more of the relaxed, oh, this is what we did here. I can show F1 cars on the track as well, which would be quite cool. I can 100% recommend. I've had my sets up since 2023. Yeah, 100%. And it goose. And it's still all good. Like, no. What's the wear like? Because obviously, I'm assuming these things last for a long time. I'm in my fantasy league. I'm up to 117.6 million budget now. And thanks to you and fan vids, I've got a 150 point gap out in front of my. Oh, good stuff, mate. Honestly, good stuff. And with 117.6, keep building that budget. You'll get ahead of the. You'll get honestly with that sort of budget. Eventually, you'll get to those teams where we're looking at now with the likes of Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Ferrari, even. And then you're going to be showing people your team, and they're going to be like, "How the hell do you have Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Ferrari, or Piastri, Leclerc, McLaren, Ferrari, or Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Mercedes?" And you're going to be like, I'm just good at the game." Modest, my global rank is 985. Huge. I'm happy everyone's doing well in their private leagues. Because yeah, it is crazy in F1 Fantasy how realistically it does all come down to budget building. It does, doesn't it? And we've been spouting on about it this whole season, haven't we? Where it's like, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. Because the budget's going to come through. And we're starting getting to those points where budget will. And hey, even, I know Antonelli's not everyone's favourite cup of tea at the minute for F1 Fantasy. But, what's it called? Wait, where was I going with this? What was I saying? I've completely lost my train of thought because I was reading the messages. Anyway. Do you think there is a market for F1 Fantasy paid league product? Community betting, not bookies, basically. Yeah, so I don't think so because in the sense of F1 owns the rights to all of this, of course. So I feel like they'd get shut down if anyone tried that. Obviously, the bookies get that little extra. Like, you can go onto the bookies and do, like, fantasy leagues and stuff because it's a bookie. I think there's, like, rules that they can probably do with F1 and stuff. But, I don't know. It'd be quite hard to get that through without F1 throwing a wobbly. But you never know. It's worth a try. Let's see if anyone makes it, because I'll probably join that. I had 256 points last race with 4 DNFs, and first one had 2 DNFs. Oh, perfect. Yeah, if Antonelli doesn't crash in the next 2 races and scores decent points, will be a bargain again. And be a bargain? Will be my bad, my brain. And how much will he cost? Well, we can actually do the maths here. So Antonelli right now is 17.1. Realistically, he's going down 0.6 million in Spa. So 0.6 million, he's going to be down to 16.5. Then, if he doesn't get more than 20 points in Spa, then he'll go down another 0.6, which will be 15.9. But realistically, I think he'll probably get around 20 points in Spa, which with a -7 makes him probably get a 0.2 or a -0.2. So I think Antonelli is going to settle at about 16.3, 16.5. And then by that point, if Mercedes really do pick up the pace, Antonelli will become a must-have. And I'm not kidding, it will get to the point where Antonelli becomes, you could have Piastri, Antonelli, and Russell teams with McLaren and Mercedes. Because people will get to that point, because people already are being able to afford Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Ferrari. So all you'd have to do is drop Ferrari to Mercedes, and you're looking good as gold. But of course, you'd have to try quite a bit to get to that. Don't people? Yeah. So well, that's the thing. So there are. Oh my bad, I cut myself. There are what's it called? There are bookies that do like fantasy leagues, such as on Stake. There's one on Fan Team as well. But those, because they're bookies, I never really trust it. Just like surely the bookies have got some sort of, they take a cut out of it, which I don't like. Because obviously the bookies will always take a cut out of something. That's how they make money. They really do need to improve the breadth, the breadth of the prize package. It's a wasted opportunity to encourage more engaged enthusiasts. Buy F1 tickets. Enthusiasts buy F1 tickets. Yes, and you know what I've also always thought as well? Bro, the mini league. So of course, I don't get the point in... Listen, I get the prizes for the mini league. It's actually really cool. But like this McLaren one upcoming, I've joined it because it's fun. But all you're getting is, not kidding you, if you literally created a new account in F1 Fantasy, and I had 120 million and you had 100 million, but you used Limitless in Silverstone, extra DRS in Spa, and let's say no negative in Hungary, you would probably outscore me. But you've also got people who probably, like genuinely, I could sack off my full season right now, and I could have gone no negative in Silverstone, extra DRS in Spa, and autopilot, or I don't know, one of the final fix in what's it called, Hungary, and then with that I could probably win the McLaren Mini League. So I don't know. It's just weird how like they're good fun, but when those prizes are just as cool sometimes, like going to the McLaren Centre, whatever. When that's the prize, I really like how I don't like how you can scum it, like in China, when of course it wasn't scummy in 2024, but of course everyone used Limitless because it was the right play to use Limitless, and then it's like, well, that sort of thing happens. I fully agree. We should have the mini leagues being smaller prizes, and then the big league. The big league should be top F1. Realistically, they're a big company. They could bring in the top 20. Could all get the VIP things, and they wouldn't even notice. Top 20 could do that. Top 100 could get the second place prize, and in the top 500 could get third place prize. And I kid you not, even just that I think would be a massive improvement. Because first, second, and third, it's cool, but really, I do agree. It's like the prizes definitely could be better. First place deserves so much more, considering how much it is to get first place. Like, bruh, if you get first in F1 Fantasy, give them like I don't know how it works, but like give them like some sort of way to get a season prize. Yeah. Honestly, just make a t-shirt for the top. If you get top 1,000, a t-shirt. If you get top 500, you get the third place prize. If you get top 100, you get second place prize. If you get top 50, top 20, you get the first place prize. And then third, second, and third can get the top 20 prize plus a slight extra, like a £50 voucher, even something like that. And I kid you not, more people will play the game. They'd have better engagement. Everything would be good for F1. Honestly, ain't got a Scooby. Wait, hang on. I'll get to the first thing. I'll get to Big Gooses first. Looks mint. The frame is untouched. The wheelbase, the operates like new. Pedals feel great. Only a bit of wear would be on the seat, of course. Yeah. You can wear down the wheel itself, as our hands naturally oil, but you can pretty much. Yep, I'll probably get some gloves for it as well. So yeah, I agree. Okay, that makes it good. So the wear on my set is pretty minimal, nothing noticeable, or anything stands out. These things are expensive, and as long as you treat them like they are, you'll be good. Yeah, I like that. I like that, Big Goose. That's good. It's good to know, to be fair. I mean, on the wear stuff, yeah. No, not on the wear stuff. On the treating it good, 100%. That's like everything, isn't it? You've got to be careful with that stuff. But 100% agree. Okay, that's good that it can last that long and it's still like very much in mint condition. Would you class F1 Fantasy as more of a game of skill, luck, or knowledge? So, F1 Fantasy changes every year from skill, luck, and what else did you say? Skill, luck, and knowledge. Last season was very much about. Last season was more luck. Not luck, my bad. Not luck. It was skill. Last season was very much skill in the fact that you had to know at which tracks who looked better, because at every weekend the budget reset for the drivers. So if you had a DNF, of course, you could still pick Gasly the next race weekend. All of this stuff. That was very much skill. You needed to build budget. You needed to go for the right teams. This season, it's more knowledge. So 2024 skill, 2025 knowledge, because you physically cannot play F1 Fantasy this season without looking at the budget building in F1 Fantasy tools. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, if I played this F1 Fantasy Week season not knowing how the budget building system works, then it wouldn't. My F1 Fantasy season would have been rubbish. So this season definitely very much is knowledgeable. Now it also does come always a little bit down to luck, but I would say 2024 skill plus a slight bit of luck. Of course, you've got to get rid of those DNFs, the Sargent situation, bit of luck there as well. 2025, I'd say knowledge and a bit of luck. 2023, we're heading quite far back now, and I can't remember. But 2023, I remember being quite similar to 2024. So I'd probably say skill and a bit of luck as well. So yeah, that's my piece on that. Does FanApp make money? Still, so all of us. So like, I would be surprised if FanApp made a lot of money, because obviously they're still a small channel as well. It's like how this channel right now is not my main source of income, and it's not even close yet. And so I probably make I don't know how much FanApp make, because FanApp are slightly bigger, but I would say I make around 60, which is the threshold to get paid out by Google on YouTube. 60 quid to 150 quid on YouTube each month, depending on how well each month has been. So these months I'll probably get on the low end of that because it's near to the summer weekends. But like at the start of the season, I probably made 130 to 180 each weekend, month. So March and April time. So I'd probably say FanApp probably make on YouTube alone, maybe 300, 400 a month from YouTube. Although they make less videos, so it's a bit of a toss-up. I'm pretty sure they make more money off their website and stuff, because obviously FanApp's more of a like a website where you chat and stuff. Again, no, I don't know how they make money off that stuff. I haven't really asked about the business structure of it all. But I know, in general, especially all of the F1 Fantasy lot, we've all got separate jobs. We all do our own thing because at the minute it's not sustainable. But we'll see. Everyone's growing really big. And hey, only way is up, I presume. Do you play F1 Clash? I play it slightly. So like, I would say I forget about it, I re-download it, I have to restart. So I can show you, I've got it right now, I'll show you where I'm at. Very far back on it. Of course, couldn't play it around Silverstone, which is annoying because that's the most fun time to play F1 Clash. Also in Silverstone GP, yeah, Lannister, I know, right, innit? I couldn't have been at a better race weekend live, honestly. First Silverstone race of my life ever. So that was brilliant. So can we pick the next team till after sprint quali? Yes. So, sorry, I'm getting a bit of cramp in my leg. Hang on. So you can pick your F1 Fantasy team after sprint quali, yeah, on Spa. So that's why I'm in a really good position where, because I put on Twitter about the Piastri-Russell situation, and then everyone was like, oh, well, you've got to be careful because you've got to be like, you've got to, what's it called? Because if you don't, what's it called? Oh my word, hang on a second. Let me get my foot back in this. Yeah, Lannister, so that's the thing I was talking about. I'll get it back to a second. Thank you so much, thank you so much, Fat Boy. Insane. That is very, very generous, by the way. Extremely thankful for that. Thank you so much. I will be buying squash with that. Hey, that means this week I'll be buying Ribena. I'll be going fancy. But no, what's your job, if you don't mind saying? So yeah, so at the minute I'm a security guard. So I work 3 to 5 days a week, depending on what it is. But it's good. I actually really enjoy it because, so a lot of stuff with security guarding is, if you don't have much to do on the job, it gets boring because it's 12-hour shifts, and there's not much you can do on it once you're there. However, if you're like me and you've got something like YouTube, you've got another thing to do afterwards, it's perfect because I do all my editing on the job. So that's how I can get out all of these videos and stuff. So as you can see, I'm not working today, Wednesday, but I'll be working, I'll next be working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So that's when my week will start for that week. So weekends also change around quite a bit. So sometimes my weekend will be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I'll work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then have another break sort of thing. So it moves around quite a bit, which I quite like because it's flexible. But yeah, that's why I can get out all of these YouTube stuff. And hey, I bloody love it. It's a very laid back job, which is quite nice. But yeah, Lannister, back to us, back to it on it. Sadly, did not get any merch. Honestly, I kid you not, we did not have time to even look in the stores. We were literally working the entire weekend. It was insane. So annoyingly, did not get any merch. I know. Oh, actually, that's a complete lie. Me and Adam did get an F1 water bottle, which I guess counts. I guess that counts. But it's in my car at the minute, so I can't really show that. Where was I anyway? Right, yeah, no, so Lannister, sorry, anyway. So, that's what I was trying to get at. Yeah, and Lannister, it's great because we've also been given the access to all of the clips that we did at Silverstone. So over the next week or so, you're going to be seeing me probably post every once or twice a day some short clips of me doing the interviews as well, which is quite nice. So obviously FanApp are doing loads of the stuff, but also we can put them on our own channel. So you'll see some of that as well, which will be good fun. But, right, anyway, finally back to what I was getting to. Because it's a sprint race weekend, that is the beauty of it, isn't it? So, a lot of people were going, ooh, it's a little bit interesting if you can, if you want to go Piastri, Russell, what if it doesn't work out with Mercedes? Oh, hang on, before I get back to that. I'm going to be off now. I'm going to watch the F1 movie, but Zach and everyone in the chat, yeah, have a good day, man, and hopefully you enjoy the F1 movie. I still haven't actually seen it yet, but I'm going to go see it probably next week, I think, because I clear up after next week. So enjoy it and have a good rest of your day. But right, finally back to the Twitter stuff. Because it's a sprint race weekend, we get to pick our teams after sprint quali. So it's one of those situations where no matter the case, all I do is, okay, after sprint quali, if Russell's like P2, P3 with Antonelli, P4, P5-ish, then I go, okay, cool. I go, cool. I'll go Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Mercedes. If Ferrari look good, all I do is go, okay, cool. One more week of budget building. I get rid of Ocon and Bortoletto, and I bring in Behrman and Stroll. And I do one more week of budget building. Then I'll take a -10 in Hungary to go over to potentially Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Mercedes. Or hey, you never know. If it goes amazing, I could go Piastri, McLaren, Ferrari, Russell. I don't know. I don't think I physically can, but yeah, we'll see. You have a gun then? Nah. So no guns or nothing like that in the UK, even with security guards. So nothing like that. Or honestly, all I've got is yes, you can use Final Fix after the main quali. You can also use Final Fix after the sprint race in a what's it called? In a sprint race weekend. So that's also another time to use it, but you have to be like adamant after the sprint race, like, okay, before quali I want to make this change. Realistically, it's always better to still use Final Fix after quali. That's why Final Fix actually is the only chip that technically doesn't get enhanced with a sprint race weekend. So yeah, no, on the job, I'll just have a torch. That's all you really need. Yeah, it's nothing crazy. I'll lose. Whew. What is the time? Okay, it's 1 o'clock. I think that's about 1 hour and 20 left. We'll see. Let me look at the timer. Yeah. Hour 23 left. Aye. Let's put up these settings. Whew. But yeah, so I guess you could also say Limitless is the only other chip that doesn't make it better. Also, I've just realised I've had that going the entire time. Let me get off. Oh, actually, that kind of works though, because I was showing what I was doing with Hey, yeah, if it's a strong enough light as well, I could blind people as well with it. Oh, yeah. Whew. I tell you what, I do not need to exercise for the next year after all of this. If anyone doesn't know, the amount of walking we did at Silverstone was crazy. And then I decided this was going to be a good idea as well. Oh well, we power through. We're halfway done. How bad could that be, eh? How bad? Whew. And after this, I get to make the video on Nico Hülkenberg. So I don't know exactly what the video is going to be about. Well, I know it's going to be about Nico Hülkenberg, but in the fact that I don't know where I'm going to start his story. Am I just going to talk about the race bit? Am I just going to talk about his stats? I might do a bit of everything. So I might go, he's had this stat, he's had that stat. No, luckily, no work tomorrow. I've got... So this week I worked... this week actually I took quite a bit of time off. So this week I only worked Monday. Then I will... And then I work next on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Monday. Yes, I can get some of those. I do want to make a montage about Nico Hulkenberg as well. Nico Hulkenberg. To be fair, that's a Danny Rick one, isn't it? Also, by the way, I will... Obviously, I'm not going to show the address of where I work. But I can tell you, if I was to walk to work, because it's in London... like London, not suburbs where I live. If I was to go to work from here and walk, it would take me 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours it'd take me to walk to work. So, yeah. Especially as I start work at 6:30 in the morning. No, Oz, it's not a rumour. It's not an rumour actually. Let me get it up on the chat stream. So it's very much a real thing now. Yeah, he is gone, and the Racing Bulls guy, he's taken over. Nico's on fire. Your defense is terrified. Yeah, oh, what a guy, man. So I'll do a montage of him. I'll do the stats of Nico Hulkenberg. I'll do his achievements, like his first pole position, all of the woes he's had throughout the season, his years, like hitting into Hamilton in 2012. 2012. What's it called? 2012 Brazil, 2019 German Grand Prix, Hockenheim. That was another bad one for him. So we'll see what happens. No, and apparently people are talking about Horner to Ferrari. I really hope it doesn't happen. I do not want Horner at Ferrari. That is just a recipe for disaster. Yeah, no bueno. Piastri, Antonelli, McLaren, Ferrari builds? Yes, right. So, Elio, they don't sound too bad, but it sits in the same issue we've had before of same issues of Antonelli's gonna go down minus 0.6 because he's a B tier asset now. So these builds would be so brilliant. It's like I could technically run Norris Antonelli, McLaren Mercedes stuff, Piastri Antonelli, McLaren Ferrari, like you mentioned there. There's so many different variations of teams we can run with two A-tier drivers right now. The only issue is Antonelli keeps bloody not finishing a race. So now we've got to wait until minimum Hungary to even consider him just going down minus 0.2 or plus 0.2. So it's so annoying. But at least at the point, it feels we can get there with 2 weekends if they run our way. Yeah, so Lannister, the only reason I want to use the Mercedes build is because it's a sprint race weekend. Like, but it's so annoying because I would have to take the minus 10 to get to them. So you will only see me using Russell, Piastri, McLaren, Mercedes if Russell is in the top 3 and Antonelli's also in the top 5. Only time in the sprint race. Only time you'll see me going near it, even with a minus 10. However, probably the situation that will happen, because I don't think that will happen, is I stick with Ferrari. I get rid of Ocon and Bortoletto, and I go Stroll and Behrman, and then I get one final big boost of budget, and hopefully with Stroll, Behrman, Alonso, Hulkenberg, that would be 0.6 times 4, which is 2.4. So 2.4, 2.7, 3.3 million that weekend, which then also would give me a bit of leeway to potentially not have to go with Piastri, Russell, Alonso, Lawson, Colapinto, because I don't really want Colapinto. I'm fine having Lawson, but if I could get Colapinto up to the likes of a Carlos Sainz when he drops down and is usable again, or the likes of a Behrman or a Gasly or a Hadjar, all of them when they're usable, that's what I want. Oz, he's chatting so much rubbish at the end of his Red Bull bit. Piastri to Red Bull, like, have a day off. I don't Piastri. I genuinely, I feel like Piastri would rather go Alpine than Red Bull. Red Bull is a death sentence for your career these days, which is insane to say. But like, if Red Bull don't fix up, I fear for Red Bull that they're not even going to be in the top 4 next season. Because if Verstappen leaves, have you seen all of those stats where let me get it up on the screen again. I'll keep it going with one leg if I can as well. Come on. No, it's not going to work. Whew. So, if Verstappen didn't have 165 points, 165, yeah? Remember that, 165, 172. Red Bull would be last. Dead last with Yuki and Liam. Like, it is that bad. It is that bad, their situation. And I generally feel like that's what could happen. So just be very, very careful, because I don't know why I'm saying be careful. They need to be careful, because they risk the issue of being behind Ferrari, Aston, McLaren, Mercedes, potentially even the likes of someone like an Alpine next season. So we'll see. What do you think about Caddy next season? I don't really know. I feel like they're going to come in and do a Haas, where they're like 8th, 9th, 10th at the start, because I can't see them doing anything crazy. But I will say I'm more excited for Audi. I think don't be surprised if Audi do half decent. Definitely, considering where Sauber are right now, I would prefer Audi over them. Too many inexperienced drivers at Red Bull. Well, I get it, right? I get it. Red Bull's like whole policy is get youth, build them up, make them great. The issue is their youth right now is great. It's just like their car is built to kill people. Like, it's I don't know what is going on with their car, but it's one of those things where sometimes you need to bite the bullet and let something go. Like, would Red Bull, this is a crazy thing to even consider, considering how great Verstappen is. If they're not in a championship winning car right now, either they've got to stop building the car solely around Verstappen so they can actually be a team, or maybe they do. Maybe it would be better if Verstappen did just go. I honestly, I don't know what they do, because it's so difficult. It really is difficult, that whole situation, because I completely agree, Lannister. What stops them to change the second car? I don't know what's stopping them. They surely are working on it, because as a team, this makes zero sense to have the situation they are in right now, because they are screwed if Verstappen leaves. But maybe they can rebuild if he does. But it's like, it doesn't feel like they know how to fix the car without Verstappen there. So Verstappen's very much gone down the, I can drive this car, it's not amazing, but I'm Verstappen sort of thing. And without anyone else, they're completely screwed. But to build drivers, you have to keep them. Look at Norris for EG, look at Leclerc. Yeah, so it's just, the issue, right, is Norris is Norris was never as bad as we're seeing these Red Bull second drivers. Leclerc was never bad as these second drivers, even in their first seasons. So it's such an interesting one because it has to physically be the car, because we've seen Lawson. I genuinely, I'm not the biggest Lawson supporter. I don't think he's actually all that people brag him up to be. Before he joined Red Bull, by the way. And then he joined Red Bull and it was a disaster class. But I don't think he's a bad driver. I think Lawson could easily fit into a likes of an Alpine. He could easily fit into a Sauber, a Haas, those sorts of teams. Same with Tsunoda. I think Tsunoda is a really good driver. Now, I could happily see Tsunoda at something like an Aston, because there's ties with the Honda stuff. It's just, they look so bad in a Red Bull, and I really want to know, let's say, what would happen if we put... what would happen if we put someone like a Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell in that Red Bull with Verstappen? Because I genuinely feel like we need to see a driver like that go into a Red Bull. Because if they physically couldn't handle that car, then we already have our answer. But if they can't handle it, then Red Bull physically have to change something about the car, because then it literally means you have a car that a singular person in the world can drive, and that is it. Which is ridiculous. Must be in Verstappen's contract to be an only one-man team. Yeah, I don't know what. It's just, there's so much politics when it comes to F1 on that sort of stuff as well. So who knows what the hell's in this contract. Don't we miss Perez now? Well, that's the thing. It's like, I get why Red Bull got rid of Perez. And I fully backed it. But realistically, I would probably project Perez right now, if he was still there, to have around 30 to 40 points this season. So even with Perez, I doubt they'd be in the top 3. So at the end of the day, I get going for young talent, but nothing's working. Yeah, there's of course, those are the two big names potentially going Cadillac. Bottas or Perez. I think I'd rather see Bottas go there, but I think Perez is a good experienced driver to have for a team entering F1. It'd be a good idea to have him at a team like that. I don't mind. I don't have hope in another of their new drivers, that Lindblad kid. So Lindblad, I mean, he's not doing amazing in F2 this season. So we'll see exactly what he can eventually do. But yeah, I agree. It's a difficult one. Because I think Hajar was doing better than Lindblad. Now I will say, Lindblad's quite young. But hey, Yuki, Lawson, Hajar, they're all young. So it's like, who do you pick? Eventually you got to pick someone. Their strat is bad too. Their strat is bad too, if not worse than Ferrari. Now that is a bold statement. Ferrari and bad strategy calls go hand in hand. So, as we all know, like, I mean, you could even say in Silverstone, Ferrari's Ferrari's strats came in clutch. Because they completely ruined Leclerc's race and they stopped Hamilton from getting that P3 basically by going onto their softs too early. I feel Russell Mercedes teams may end up being a trap. So I am, as of now, inclined to keep Ferrari. Yeah, so Lannister, 100% agree. Whenever you go towards a Piastri Russell team, you're locked in for the rest of the season. I will say that. But we're getting to the point where how long is too long? If we're not using Piastri Russell teams by Zandvoort, it gets to the point where we're not going to have enough races to recover from everyone who just started straight away on points and has around like 110, 150 million budget sort of thing. But I completely agree on the fact that in Spa, like I said, you will only see me using Russell and Piastri, Mercedes, if Ferrari look completely off of it. If it's anywhere close between Mercedes and Ferrari, I will not be running them. And like I said, I'll be getting more budget so that I can have multiple B-tier drivers that can move around. Because I want to get to the point where we eventually have Lawson going back up in value. We have Bortoletto going up in value, potentially a Colapinto going up in value. And I want to get to the point where I can have all three of those drivers, and I can have the likes of Piastri, Russell, McLaren, Ferrari, or Piastri, Hamilton, Piastri, Leclerc, McLaren, Ferrari, those sorts of teams. Or hey, realistically, the main goal by the end of the season is to be able to even go potentially Piastri, Norris, McLaren, Mercedes. If you can get to that by like round 16, 17, then round 16, 17 is incredible if you can get to that, by the way. But yeah, I heard someone say that some of the lesser teams have 4 million less than our teams, but 400 points. So that's a stat. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So it's like we've got to get to these teams eventually, otherwise we're gonna run out of time. Now, I think Spa, it's okay to miss out. But if, like I said, if I want to be running these teams in Hungary, if I'm not running these teams in Hungary, it's shambles. It's not shambles, but it needs to be happening. It really does. And it's annoying because maybe in Hungary, I'll go, yeah, no, don't worry. I got what you mean. I thought you were talking about lesser teams on budget, but I also get it from that perspective as well. Yeah, and it will get to the point where that 400 points is just too much to catch up again. Although, however, one thing I did find interesting actually is, you know how all of us basically ran McLaren, Ferrari, Piastri. All of us used those teams, by the way. All of those teams somehow went up. I went up 2,000 positions this weekend, and we were all using it. So it very much still is the case where we're still overtaking people who started the season using all their chips, plus teams that have got a lot lower budget than us. Which is good, by the way, for us. So I went from 7,700 to 5,600, which was nice. When officially to stop building budget and go for pure points, for me, Oz, that will be it'll be either Hungary or Zandvoort. Basically, I think from the looks of things, Spa, I'd be very, very surprised if I ended up going McLaren Mercedes. However, if it does happen, fair enough. But definitely, I would say once I have, because after Spa I would have about 150, 125. I would say once you're starting to close in on 130 million in the season, it gets to the point where you can look for budget. Like when I officially get to Piastri Russell teams, I'm not going to stop budget building. It's just I'm going to be looking more towards the points. Like I'll still be bringing in Alonso if Alonso looks good for budget. Let's say weekend Hulkenberg look good. I'll go for Hulkenberg. I'll still be doing that stuff, but I get what you mean. It'll be on the back foot. So it'll be on the back foot of, oh, however, I could go a little bit riskier and go for Gasly instead of Behrman, let's say this weekend, because he's 7 points to Behrman's -3. But that meant, that 1.5 extra meant I could go from Piastri Russell to Piastri Leclerc. When Leclerc's good, I'd do something like that. Those are the sorts of positions we will be getting into for Hungary and Zandvoort and onwards. And that's when basically. But that's for me, by the way. It's different for everyone. Because realistically, you need to be building budget until you can bring in minimum Piastri Russell teams. How many points on average do you think we will make by using 8 assets over other regular teams? We will, over regular teams, averagely make about 20 to 30 points more each weekend. Averagely, about 20-30 points, I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. That's why eventually you've got to stop budget building and just, you got to go for the points. You really do. But that's the issue, because also to budget build as well means you get a better extra DRS. So yes, it's like, actually, you know, I'd say 15 to 30 points each weekend. So you get better on that. But like the extra DRS instantly, if you're extra DRSing a team that actually has, let's say you go Piastri, Leclerc, yeah? And there's 3 times and 2 times on them, but you have McLaren and Mercedes instead of McLaren and Sauber, instantly you are making an extra 50, 60 points on anyone on the extra DRS, and then that extra DRS, which scores 50, 60 points more than the Sauber with McLaren Sauber teams, also gets the extra DRS normal stuff, which will give you an extra 100 to 200 points. So then, even though we get that average of 15 to 30 points a race, yes, that will catch us up, but then after we use all the chips of the extra DRS, better. After we use autopilot, hopefully better. After I use no negative, hopefully better. These sorts of things will then build us into the top 1,000, and we go from there. Bim, bam, boom. And that is the strategy. Can the newer coming teams grab Horner like Cadillac or Audi? Yeah, they could. You never know. I'd be surprised if Audi took him, because I think Audi are quite happy with where the Sauber technical team is and the team over there, so I think they'll stick that. You never know, Cadillac could go for Horner. I think that would be a good move for Cadillac, actually. But I don't know, Horner's prices might be way too much for them, though. That's the issue. That is the other thing. Because Horner was on big, big money at Red Bull. Whew. Hey, how much longer is on this, man? I'm dying on this. Whew. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where Horner goes, because Horner will stay with someone, at least. We know it won't be Red Bull, but it'll be someone. Wow. Sky Sports were very quick with that. 49 minutes ago they made a 7-minute video as well on it. Right, it's 1:26. I believe I've got about an hour left on this. Whew. Considering I've done 2 hours, that would be brilliant. Yeah, money-wise, I do think, yeah. I do think, money-wise, Horner's... yeah, Ferrari's probably the only team that could afford to go for someone like that. But again, I would be so disappointed if Ferrari went for that. Be so disappointed. Because at the end of the day, Ferrari do not need Horner, and I don't think it's the right fit. I really don't think it's the right fit. Why do you think they took Horner out? Mix of, obviously, he's had all of those controversies. So I think that was still rumbling around the mix of Red Bull. Helmut Marko, Horner I swear they were batting heads quite a bit as well. Obviously Max isn't happy. Max has been having issues with Horner as well. So I think there's been a lot of internal fighting. And I think yeah. It's easier to so my bad, right. You lose your train of thought on the bike though, because you're trying to keep going as well. But yeah, no. So butting of heads, controversies, and bad results, all accumulated 100% into why he got sacked. Because let's get real. Realistically, what's it called? Because Red Bull didn't actually say exactly why he got the sack, but it's like, come on, we know exactly why he got the sack. Let's get real. We know exactly why. Oh, also, yeah, so for anyone who wasn't there, my next forfeit for the, I can't remember if I actually got around to it. So my next forfeit will be to do with the driver sim stuff as well. Because obviously I'll just have it set up, I'll be getting used to it. So I might do a thing where I do like, I saw Angry Ginger, someone do like a full race at Monaco. And I mean, hey, technically it's not really a forfeit because I'd actually really like to do that. But I think that'd be quite fun for a forfeit. Yeah, that's F1 for you. Why do you think Horner is not a good fit for Ferrari? I don't think the drivers are a good fit for Horner, first of all. I don't think Hamilton and Horner would get along, so that's not a good issue. Horner, he's very, very, very... He's a decisive character in F1, and I just think he would so butt heads with Ferrari's big dogs. I really do think. And like, there's so much issues that Ferrari, add Christian Horner to that boiling pot, I think it explodes. I think he's that sort of character that wouldn't be able to get it under control. And realistically, I know it sounds bad, but he's been on cruise control in Red Bull for a while. And I think you go over to a team with Ferrari where there's so many aspirations and everyone wants the team to do well and they never really do, he's going to buckle under it, I feel. Yes, so Lannister, this is the forfeit. So obviously I've sort of mixed the two of the post race chat because I was running out of time to do a post race chat. Technically it's been ages since the race now. And then the 3-hour session on the bike, which is there's only about 50 minutes to go, which is not too bad. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of exercise in this last week, which is brilliant. Oh right, my bad. You're talking about next one. Now, if Verstappen also leaves for big money, Red Bull would be. Yeah, no, it's like how I was showing Oz. If Verstappen leaves now, don't be surprised if Red Bull aren't in the top 4 for next season. Not kidding. I would not be surprised at all. Because they would need a full rebuild. And no one wants to go Red Bull. Red Bull, like I've said, is literally a career ender. So unless you physically have someone like George Russell who's been kicked out of Mercedes and there's physically nowhere else for him to go, potentially he could go there. But he won't want to stay at Red Bull. Do you have a simulator at home? Which one? No, so Lannister, so I'm building one over the next 2-3 weeks. So I'm moving out on Friday. I'm now going to have room to build one. So I've got about 1,500 to £2,000 budget. My idea is to get one that works with PC and PlayStation, because those are the two main ones I use. And then, it's GT seat versus Formula seat. I think I'm leaning with Big Goose towards the GT seat, because it just sounds like the Formula seat's overpriced for what it actually is. Wait, sorry, Lannister, I'm a bit confused. Wait, I'm just a little bit confused, just a little bit. Whew. Aye. Come on. I can do this. We can do this. 50 minutes and 30 seconds to go. 2 hours of streaming. Aye. No, oh, whoops, got on the wrong video. I just turned on the Christian Horner sacked one by accident, not on the chat. Right. I may as well talk a little bit more about F1 Fantasy, because that keeps my mind off the 50 minutes timer. What, DIY it? Quick little F1 Fantasy chat. Kick, definitely still the best constructor, B tier wise. And then Haas. Yeah. I'd be surprised if you would use anyone else. Maybe Aston, but yeah, Aston with Stroll. 50-50 whenever they do well. Take 2 chairs facing each other, and you have a Formula 1 seat. Who needs a setup when you have duct tape and 2 chairs? Literally, boom, boom, boom. The chair, like, recline it fully backwards, and you're good as gold. So I could see Audi doing being in the top 5 teams next season if they get their car right. Cadillac, I'd be surprised. Sadly, I think when you're starting a new team in F1, because let's get like it's like that's the thing, yeah. So you think to yourself, hey, what about Brawn? They did it and they came first. Right, no, right, no, yeah, Brawn. You think, okay, Brawn, new car, all of this stuff, but technically Brawn was a takeover. They were Honda. Cadillac is a complete new team. They aren't taking over any infrastructure like from another team. And that's why I worry a little bit for them 2026, because you've got to build all of this stuff, you've got to get up to scratch with how the sport works and all of that. That's the only issue. So Cadillac, I'd be surprised. Audi, however, Audi are building on top of Sauber. They're doing all of this, and I think that's why I have a bit more trust in them to do half well. Would you be open to doing a video on the simulators? Right, yeah, so fun that you say that, because my plan is for the simulator, initially when I'm making it, I'm gonna go through my whole thought process. I'm gonna go through, okay, I'm gonna make a video of, oh, okay, so I had a look at this. I had a look at, what's it called? Oz is distracting me. I had a look at the GT stuff. I had a look at the Formula stuff. I decided one of these. And then I'm gonna go how I go through ordering it, how I got it and stuff. Then I'll show me setting it up through like a time lapse, because the time lapse will take a while. Apparently some of these ones can like take like a few hours to set up. But then I'll show it, and then I think I'll do a few live streams on it, because why not? Like where I'm just running about with it, because I like the idea of just using it, because I'll be using it just anyway. Oh, I've got to power through. I know. I've got to power through. How long have we got left on it? Oh, I've got to stop looking at the timer. There's still 45 minutes. No, don't look at it. Don't look at it. Yeah, I will say, like, you know that feeling of after you've done a lot of exercise? I'm going to be hit like a ton of bricks with that feeling. I'm gonna feel great. I'm gonna feel more alive than I ever have in my life. Hopefully. More likely than not, I'm gonna lie down and be like, why the hell did I do this? But oh, actually, also, to be fair, I'll say in the chat right now. Oh, you know what? I genuinely could try that, yeah. I'd be surprised if they let me do that, but why not? It's worth a try, isn't it? I didn't even think, yeah. Oz, why are you trying to get me to fall asleep? Yeah, no, I definitely, alright, I'll give it a shot, see what they say. Why not? That didn't even cross my mind, to be fair. No, it's good. How long is 4 minutes? 4 minutes. Jeez, at least 45 minutes. It's not even half a race. Well, it is a half a race, so we can do this. Yeah, I'll message Fanatec, be like, please, I'll give an honest review on it, please. That'd be very, very cool if they let me do something like that. Because yeah, definitely, I will be making a video on it, no matter what. And I will be saying pros and cons of what I bought, and saying if I thought, because actually that's the main thing as well. That's the main thing I need to have a look on. Because obviously, I'm going to be a first-time sim buyer of all of this stuff. So, I will give my review on it. Because, of course, it is a very, very expensive hobby. So, I will say, like, in 2 weeks' time after the video as well, maybe I'll make, like, a post of, was it worth buying it? Maybe 2 weeks isn't long enough. Maybe a year after I've got it, I'll go, was it worth buying, sort of thing. Hopefully, I'm going to go, I'm on it all the time. I do all of this. It was great fun, definitely worth it. But, you know, I could also go, okay, it was good fun, but it got a bit boring after 2-3 months. I very much would be surprised if I thought that way. But you never know. Practice and show them your skills. You have, well, here's the thing. So I'm not too shabby on the controller. So my thinking is, because on the controller on F1 games, bear in mind, I haven't played the new ones. I normally stick on F1 2020 and F1 2021, because I really like those games. But on the controller, I was always around 95 to 100 AI difficulty, which is good. That's good. So my thinking is, if I'm on a racing sim stuff, I should be able to get up to 110. And then from there, you just practice more and more, and you should be half decent. I mean, I'm not thinking pro level, but I'm thinking like a level of that is like cool to show people. Like, whoa, that's a fast time. Like, I'm trying to when I get it, I'm gonna go through the new F1, and first of all, I'm gonna just try all the time trials. I'm gonna try and get, what we saying, top 5%, top 10% in the world. I think that's doable. Hey, if we can do it in F1 Fantasy, we can do it on the F1 game as well. And how great would that be? Whew. I've also put up the settings because my thinking is, if I'm on the bike, there's more time for me to just power through. Don't think about it. Come on. Oh, whoops, wrong button. Whew. What happens if you eat a lot of good food now after stream and lay down in bed and... I will be sleeping good. Oh, I wish, Lannister, I wish. So, I think this season... Oh, shit. Oh, thank God I didn't crack my phone. Yeah, no. Well, actually, before I get to the fantasy thing, I will be cooking some good food. I don't know what I'm going to cook after this, but I'm going to cook something. But to be fair, I can't fall asleep too much, because then I'm going to the pub at 5. Because it's a weekday, can't do anything too crazy, but that'll be good fun. To organise, actually I'm going pub to organise some spa stuff, which will be good stuff. But fantasy-wise, I think the start of the season, I was aspiring to top 500. I was thinking, okay, we need to improve on last season. However, this season, I think with where I am right now, I'm about 5,600. So I think from that area of the rankings, I think I can still get top 1,000. But I'd be happy to get around the top 1,000, top 2,000. I think that's where we're aiming for this season. Yeah, I think 1,000, top 1,000, definitely, I still think is doable. I'm just going to have to be on tip-top condition and get all of these decisions right. Like when to switch over to the Piastri Russell teams, when to continue building budget. I need to make sure I get that right. Can't do Hamilton in Silverstone. I have to make sure I swap teams at the swap over point. Crossover point, I mean. So fall asleep in the pub? Now that sounds like a plan. I definitely would not get robbed. To be fair, it's a lovely day to fall asleep outside as well. In London, it's about 25 degrees. As you can see on the bottom left of my screen, it's 25 degrees, yeah. So that's also why it doesn't help, because I think the last time I did a challenge like this, it was like 10 degrees outside. So it wasn't that bad. I am 2,500 points. Don't know where I'm globally. Oh, actually, I can tell you with 2,500 points. Let's get up the F1 app and see how many points I've got, and I can tell you from like loosely where that would put you. So I'm 5,649, and I've got 2,667. So, also, I think that puts you around 2,500, around 30k in the world, maybe? Am I close on that? I can show you right now the top teams. So she blinded me with signs. How do I look at those? Oh, we have to do it on F1 Fantasy, don't we? Let me get that system up. She blinded me with signs. Look at their team, right? So this is the thing. They're on 2,997. So they are 330 points ahead. But look at their budget. 115.2 to 122.6. So this is easily catchable. So hey, you know what? Actually, maybe I'm being too much of a downer, Lannister. Top 500 still isn't off if we get this 100% right. Yeah, 40k could be it as well, Ors. I think around that. But you're probably definitely around the high end 15, 20k. Low end 40k, I think. But like, easily catchable. Because if we, bear in mind, the later we make to do the switchover point, the later they do anyway. There is a position where even teams like She Blinded Me With Signs, those sorts of teams, only get to 280 drivers by Cota time, by Brazil time. So we've got a long time until they potentially are able to build these sorts of teams up, while we'll be building points on them. I mean, hey, look at all of the top teams. To be fair, if I quickly hang on, in a song that no one knows, show me the rest of the top teams, please. How do I look at that? If I go League Analyzer, yeah. So look, BW Champions 2025, only 115.7. 24,800. That's not. That's better. That's good. That is better than I thought it'd be. To be fair, that's on the high end, isn't it? Sorry, my bad. I need to get on the bike, but let's go. 117.1. All of these teams don't have big budgets. Look, wait. Show me. Why is it not showing me? I don't know what's going on. Show me more than the top three. Save. There we go. Look, 116.2. The best team in the world probably right now is Andrew Bradley with 122.5. Everyone else isn't even anywhere close to the top teams, which top budgets, which is very, very good for us, considering some people also on the budget side, some people have over 125, 126 million, and they're at the same points as us. So there's definitely room to make this stuff work. We now just have to make sure we get those points in, yeah. Because they'll get to the point as well where, like, teams like She Blinded Me With Signs, they physically can't run the likes of, they can't run Behrman, Hulkenberg, Behrman, Alonso, Stroll. Whereas people with better budgets like us can. So we're going to be building more and more budget on them, similar points to them, and it'll get to the point. Yeah, basically about that. But you got to remember, my budget's lower than a lot of people's are as well, even mine as well. I would say the people who are aiming Lannister, so the people who are aiming for the top 100 spots, their team budgets are around 125 million. So they've probably got 400 points deficit. Well, actually, for me, 330. So let's say 350 deficit, cut in the middle. So 350 deficit to 6 million for some people. And that's the teams that are looking good on this stuff. But 4 million for 400 points, of course, sounds like it's not worth it, but we're going to know by the end of the season. I mean, is there a way to check how many chips they have left? Oh, weesh. That is a bit of an issue, though. They still have all of their chips used. Race 8. That's an... What was race 8? How many points total do you have? I have 200... Not 200, geez Louise. 2,600 odd. Actually, let me get it up. I have 2,667. So I'm only 300 odd points off the top team. But the other big teams, what has this guy got left? See, he's used no negative and limitless. That's good. No negative on top. Oh, that's Monaco, of course, yeah. I was thinking, what is that flag? So we're on similar position chip-wise for these teams. So it's got to be close, man. Yeah, no problem, Lannister. All right, have a good, nice rest of your day. I've got 30 minutes left. Thank you for helping me through this, because it's been good having all of your guys' questions to get me through this stream. Because we've had a lot of stuff. Yeah, take care, man. Take care. Right, last final half an hour. So the top teams all have similar chips left to us. So that's not going to happen. But when we use those chips, such as extra DRS, we should be able to score more points, because we'll have a better team to use extra DRS on. At least that's the idea, right? Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading a message. Aye. Let me get back onto the chat. So yeah, to be fair, for Spa, if I go back to the budget builder, if we continue with F1 Fantasy, just to keep my mind off this, off the exercise bike, realistically, it's going to be an easy weekend to pick at Spa. We just go with the one that we get shown in Sprint Quali. And unless, like I said, unless Mercedes are literally like pole position for Sprint Quali, I will not be switching over to them. And you never know, even if Mercedes is sprint pole, I might not even go... No, but it'd be Russell, wouldn't it? So I'd really want to have Russell on my team. Oh, that does make it a little difficult. This be done. I'd be surprised though if Mercedes were as good as they were last season here. And of course, that's the other issue we've got to make sure. This was another track last season where we had disqualifications. So we've got to hope Mercedes don't have another disqualification, because that would not be ideal. Or maybe Ferrari have a disqualification, and then that's even worse for all of us. Oh, my back. Right, so Erdin, you should have seen me before stream. So I didn't do anything on stream, but I didn't have uncooked eggs. I'll tell you that, I didn't have uncooked eggs. But, what's it called? But I had 2 eggs with some toast before I started, had some cereal, and I also had a pork pie. So I was proper ready for it. But as you can tell, it's 2.5 hours into this stream, and I am sweating balls. Whew. Yes, that is also the other thing. Well, actually, not budget losers per se, but only 0.1s, and I'd probably say you'd get 0.4 from Russell Mercedes, or 0.2. That is another thing. No, Lannister, 100%, like I said, Russell and Mercedes I will only be bringing in if Russell sticks it in the top 2 and Antonelli's very close behind. And let's say Ferrari are 10th and 11th. Because then I need to focus on points. But if it's not like that, and even if it's Russell, Antonelli 4th, 5th, with Ferrari 6th and 7th or something like that, then I'd still stick with Ferrari. But actually, or I would just go Mercedes. No, I wouldn't go Mercedes. Too much of a risk, 55. No, it'd have to be big. Do people recognise you from YouTube sometimes in public? Not yet, no. So, I think the channel's still a little bit too small for that. But, you never know, maybe one day. But to be fair, I quite like that. Because I don't know what I would say if someone recognised me on the street. I'd just be like, hello. Like, how are you? I'd be a bit taken aback because I don't think I'd expect it. Can you show how many calories you've burned through? Sadly, this thing doesn't show nothing, so I have no idea how many calories I burned, but I can search it up now, actually. This is a good little thing to do. How many calories do you burn from 2.5 hours of riding a bike? It's going to be a very generic answer, but let's see. Oh, cycling calorie calculator. Right, you guys are all going to find out my weight and stuff. So, in kg, I am 82 kg. Because obviously I'm because I'm 6'4", stretches out. That's about right. Distance. I don't know distance. Never mind, not this one. Let's find a different one. Right, easy to moderate cycling, such as commuting, burns 300 calories, rising to 600 for more strenuous. What would we say? Will Red Bull bring Vettel in top position management? Oh, I'd be very surprised. Very, very surprised. But how cool would that be if they were just like, oh, Vettel's going to be our team principal? Would be very cool in theory, but I don't think they'd ever do it in practice. But, so, I would say I'm in between moderate cycling and, like, strenuous cycling. So, I'd say, let's say 500 calories an hour, because it's 300 for moderate, which I think moderate would be something like this, if I had it on the lowest setting, going like this sort of thing. But I've had it on the middle setting the entire time. So I'd say 500 calories an hour. So I've probably done right now 1,100 calories. I'll probably do by the end of it 1,300, 1,500 calories, let's say, which is insane. Luckily, I've eaten, so like Erden said, I prepared myself for it before, and I'll be eating a lot afterwards as well. Although, to be fair, I've been eating loads over Silverstone as well, because I'll either be having the catering or having a McDonald's afterwards because there's nowhere else. So, that's completely fine. Whew. Come on, final stretch. Final stretch. Everyone, put something in the chat to distract me. I'm dying out here. 25 minutes to go. 25 minutes. I've got to stop looking at the clock because you know when you look at something and it just never goes down. It feels like from 32 minutes to 25 minutes, that felt like 20 minutes. I should have put the hot water on as well. Actually, to be fair, I could do with a cold shower after this. Not even hot. Whew. Come on. Sadly, not yet. Sadly, not yet. I have not seen the F1 movie, which is crazy considering I do really want to see it. I really, really, really do. But basically, actually, you know what? I can tell you my entire schedule I've had since the start of, no, since late June, which will take me a while, which is good. So, from the 27th of June, I think it was, I was working 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, the 1st of July. So I was working all 5 of those days, so I didn't have time to go to any like cinema or nothing like that. Then on the 2nd of July, we did our first meet-up with me, Adam, Terry, all of the fan amp stuff. We all got together in London, said, hey, hello, went to the Williams fan meet, the fan zone, did all of this stuff. So didn't have time to do that. We also went to this event. On Wednesday, I slept. Wednesday, I slept about 12, 13 hours because I hadn't had more than 6 hours of sleep basically since that 27th. Mate, tickle myself. To be fair, I wish you could tickle yourself, I guess, but what? Hey, maybe if I had someone in the house right now with me, I'd ask them to tickle me to take my mind off of it. Yeah. But then basically, yeah, so the schedule went like that. And then on Thursday we had media day, so we were there. I got up to go to the track for 5:30 because we had to collect our passes first before we got onto the circuit. Then I got back that day about 10:30, slept. Friday was absolutely crazy. I got back from the circuit at 12:30 at night, so I got 4 hours of sleep, which was fun. Then Saturday, I actually spent the night somewhere else, a family member's house, because they live near Silverstone, so it was nice to see them. So I did all of that. So basically, the gist of it is, I've had zilch time to watch it. I've heard some interesting things about it. I've seen people say that it's good. It's like, I've seen people say it's good if you forget it's about F1 sort of thing, in the sense of like it's very Hollywood-like. I've also seen people say it's mid, like it's good, but would you see it again? No. And I've seen all of the different reviews for it. So I can tell you next week, I will find out for all of you, and I'll be like, was it shit? Was it good? So then I'll give my unfiltered opinion on it all. If I don't have enough for 2 premium drivers and constructors for Spa, should I use Limitless to keep up with the others? Yes. So if another great question, because it's another one that takes me a while to respond to. So in Spa, sprint race weekend, low overtakes. What does that mean? Great for Limitless. Now, the reason we don't like it earlier in the season for Limitless is because a lot of people are at the point where they can have Piastri, Russell, Ferrari, McLaren, or McLaren, Mercedes sorts of teams. However, it still is the next best option right now. If it does not rain. Now, if it rains, simple, no negative. Then you use Limitless in somewhere like Hungary, again, where you can't overtake. Sadly, you don't get the sprint quali results to figure out where to put your Limitless team. But also, yeah, at Spa, what happens is you have the likes of sprint quali, where we're going to know the top 5 heading into the race. Then we lock in our teams, and we know that, and that's why it's great for Limitless. So I've used that. Just if it rains, that's the only issue. Think if gas building in your stomach can stop breathing 30 seconds, do 3-4 sets. What, are you trying to get me killed, or? Gotta take off, do my... cheers, fanboy man. Hey, will do. Hey, enjoy the rest of your day, man. Thank you for joining in. And thank you for the tenner. Yeah, my oh my. Yeah, aye. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. Aye. I wonder how long do you think that whole story took me to get out? Because I said that schedule story would take me... I never said how long it took me, but please be less than 18 minutes ago. Oh my god. That was only 5 minutes. I'm dying, man. Mate, I thought the hour... Do you remember... For anyone watching right now, awesome, pretty sure you were in there. I did this for a whole race distance, which was an hour and 30. And I thought that was hell. I'm never going to complain about something like this ever again. However, I will say, what was worse, saying George Russell 5,000 times, or this? I think this is better than the George Russell one, because at least I'm getting something out of that. no, McLaren I mean. I said McLaren 5,000 times, didn't I? Because McLaren 5,000 times, I just left and I was like, it was super fun to do with everyone in the chat and stuff. But at least this one, I'm getting exercise out of it. You know, I'm being healthy, and I can do all of this stuff. Well, of course, man. Yeah, 3 my names 4,000. It's a really nice position I'm in at the minute where I do recognise names in the YouTube channel now. Ors, whenever you message as well, I always recognise when your one is. You've got Michael, I always recognise. I've got Delamain. There's a great bunch of you guys, which is so brilliant to have. Modest, I always recognise when you're doing it. Modest, we've got 20 minutes left, all right? 20 bloody minutes. This has been a long one. I know. Yeah, oh, it was McLaren. Yes, because also you were in the chat the entire time, weren't you? That's probably up there with the greatest stream I've ever done. But I am happy I did it as a stream, because I feel like if I did it as a video, I would have had no one to chat to while doing it, and those little breaks made me get through it. Because if I was just going McLaren, without that, whew. But I will say I will not be doing 10,000 on anything. That McLaren one was bad enough, and also 3 hours is where I draw the line on this. So I've got to find new forfeits, like the driving sim one, 78 wraps around Monaco with no with damage on. So I've got to make sure I don't crash. Or, no, that could be a really good one, actually. How does this sound, everyone? What if, for my next forfeit, it wasn't just I had to complete a full race distance, but I had to complete a full race distance on a race like Monaco. And if I crashed, like, I have the settings for damage up, and if I crash, I have to restart. Like, there's no, what's it called? Flashback. Oh my god, I think that's a really good one, because I could be sitting there for like 5-6 hours trying to do that. Helium challenge. What? And then what do I do? Do I just say the name's funny? Like, I say McLaren 1,000. Oh, aye. McLaren 1,000. McLaren 5,000 times, but this time I do helium for all of them. Yeah, Modest, you know me, I've always got to get this done. I'm a trooper, and you know what? I think I've shown everything on the stream, so I'll let you guys have full view of what I've been doing. There we go. Full view, come on. Only a little bit more. Whew. No problem, Maslam. Yeah, it should be super duper easy this weekend, because we're gonna know coming into the sprint race weekend, like I mentioned, who we should be picking, who looks good, that sort of thing. So we're looking fine. We're looking very, very, very good for all of this stuff. Whew. Has your legs changed colour yet? Not just yet. No, I'm telling you, Silverstone had prepped me for this. So if you've watched my experience video, you'll know. Actually, there's a great clip. Let me show you on the phone. There's yeah, surprisingly, look, listen. It's quieter. Maybe I just needed to use it. Oh no, it's because it's when I shake. It's when I move my butt. I think like this. Yeah, it's when I do that. Aye. No, there was a Sauber meme where they were like all of the Sauber lads rushing towards the podium. So that's what we had to do multiple times for the F2 and F3 in my experience video. So I've been prepped for this sort of thing, and hey, we're getting through it. Come on. Hey, hey, hey. Oh. Aye. If someone outside your door heard, that's about 2 hours without context. What would they think? Oh, mate, you know exactly what they would think, and I hope that they did not think that. Although to be fair, they'd think they would think I'm a trooper. So you know, you got that, but it's it doesn't look the best, does it? Yeah, modest. Like that would modest. That would be being modest of you. Aye. Luckily, I am on the ground like bit here. Because imagine I was doing this like upstairs or somewhere, and all you could hear was me going squeaky, squeaky, squeak, and like bouncing. Yeah, no. That would that'd not be the best. Oh, too funny. 13 minutes. Release me. Release me. Aye. This is actually secretly why I'm moving house. Been making too much noise. Oh, this is killing me. Come on, power through. The worst part is I've talked about everything. I don't know what else to talk about now, because I've talked about the F1 fantasy. I've talked about the Horner stuff. I've talked about the F1 film, about when I'm going to watch it. I've talked about my sim racing stuff. And it's like normally on a normal stream, that would be perfect amount of content. But I've run out of content. My content now is 10 minutes left, trying to just push through. The voices. Whew. Come on. You know what? Again, put up the setting. 10 minutes of extra boost. Whew. Come on. Power through. Surprisingly, it's like you said, it's less squeaky on the higher settings. Like, look. Well, slightly less squeaky. My feet are killing me, actually. Do you know what? Actually, yeah, I'll complain about that. My feet probably hurt the most after all of this. Surprisingly. Not my legs, not my back, which always hurts when I do this stuff. I've got a terrible back pain when it comes to that stuff. But that's because when you're tall, literally, anything you do with your back, you need to stretch it multiple times. But the feet, because they've been in socks, because they need to be in socks for the exercise bike, otherwise they burn. Trust me, that not fun. Is it focusing on me? It is, yeah. Not fun at all when your feet burn on this stuff. I can tell you because I've done it before. And then you have to walk elsewhere. Yeah, no fun. No fun at all. Oh, I don't wanna lose. It's gonna, yeah, no. Like I said, it's gonna feel so good after this because I'll have a cold shower or hot shower, depending on how I'm feeling. My legs are gonna feel in the prime of my life. Finish it fast. I'm 10 minutes late. I'll go quicker. Austin's gonna get to work. He's gonna be like, so why were you late? Well, I was just watching this guy talk about F1 fantasy on an exercise bike. They're gonna be like, you know what? Next time, cancel the shift. That's more important. Hang on a second, Oz. Hang on a second. How are you late? How are you late if you work from home? You gotta get the dual monitor up so you can see both. Oh, too funny. Right, 9.5 minutes left. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling good. Come on. Whew. Exercise, exercise. F1 fantasy stuff. Budget building. You need to budget build. Limitless is good for Spa. I hope no one joins the stream while I'm doing all of this weird stuff because they're going to be thinking, what the hell is going on? No, I respect it. Work from home's the best. I know a few people who work from home, and well, obviously, work in general is never going to be. It's never going to be fun, no matter what it is. But gotta love a bit of work from home. Although, however, I don't know about you, but when you're working from home, you get people asking you to do stuff while you're trying to work, and it's like, well, you're still working. It's like, you can't go out, you're still working. Do they do that thing where it's where they check your screen to make sure that you're still active? So that's the way they get you, innit? Or you have an auto clicker on. That's the strat. Whew. So what are you waiting for? Actually, when I push back like this, you can't hear no squeak at all. It's more of a fun now. Oh god. Come on. At least I've got a good song in my ears. Well, ear. My other is out, isn't it? Are you less than? I'm trying. It's been almost 3 hours, Oz, what sort of toxic things do they do? Good stuff. The office trick was to have a buddy place a steaming cup of coffee on. Yeah, no, I've seen that. Yeah, and they walk past and they're like, now that's a guy I'd like to employ. He's here, ready to work. Oh. Aye. No, to be fair, I was telling the fan up a lot about how I was going to have to do this, and you know, I've got it done basically. How long left have I got? 6 minutes. 6 minutes left. Thank God. Yeah. You could try it. What you're gonna do is put a cup of coffee on the Zoom meeting and be like, "Well, I was here. What do you want from me?" Whew. Okay. Last 5.5 minutes. Come on. F1 fantasy stuff again. Hulkenberg, what a guy. I can talk about Hulkenberg for the last 5 minutes. I love Hulkenberg. Everyone should love Hulkenberg. He's the GOAT. Put him in that McLaren. sack off both Norris Piastri. Just a team of Hulkenberg. That's all they need. Hulkenberg hopefully can get... Hulkenberg can hopefully get another podium in Spa. I'd love to see it back to back. It's not going to happen though. We apply for licenses on behalf of people in US healthcare. Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. No, that's fair enough. Whew. More Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg never gave up, so we don't give up. Hulkenberg, if you spell Hulkenberg, Hulkenberg, 10 letters in the Hulkenberg name. Do you know what else has 10 letters in it? Let's think about this one. Champions with a couple of S's at the end, because Hulkenberg is the champions. Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. So much less stress, 100%. We all love Hulkenberg. Why didn't he ever land a tier 1 team? Well, that's what I'm thinking. Because you know, even like Sergio Perez, who I've always thought, Perez and Hulkenberg have always been in that same like atmosphere of drivers. But Perez, at least, he got his chance at McLaren right early on in his career. And he then also got Red Bull at the end. Hulkenberg, he never got nothing. Which is such a shame, because I very much could see Hulkenberg of at least having a few race wins to his name if he had. And you've had some crazy, weird drivers being in some top teams since as well. It's like, come on, give the Hulk a chance. I'm really hoping though, obviously, I'd be surprised if Hulk moved teams from Audi in 2026. So he'll probably end there. But that's why I also want Audi to do well next season. Because if there's anyone who deserves a race win now, it's Nico Hulkenberg. But I don't even care. I want him to get as many podiums as he can now. Make everyone even. I want it to be a thing of, oh, Hulkenberg got a podium. That's cool. And it's just that. Because how great would that feel knowing after trying for so long to get a podium, he ends with like 4 or 5. Would be brilliant. Right, how much left longer? 2.5 minutes. Holy guacamole. Thank God this is over. This has actually been very, very fun. I will say, his story beats the F1. Well, yeah, 100%. His story is true, gritty F1. It is everything you love about F1 rammed into like rammed into a race. It was brilliant. A career. Oh, just I love that guy. What a guy. But this stream, yes, it was been hard, and yes, I ran out of stuff to say about half an hour ago, which luckily all of you lovely people have been keeping me going. Was actually good fun. Would I do it again? Absolutely not. But stay tuned for Nico Hulkenberg video, which probably delayed till tomorrow because I don't think I'm going to be writing a script today. Or maybe I'll write a script and record it tomorrow, but at the end of the day, I'm knackered. I'm definitely going to go have a shower, and then I don't even know at that point. Shower's the first thing I need to get into after this because I am sweaty. But we've only got a minute left, and what a song to end on as well. What a beautiful song to end this on. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for watching after this stream, because I guarantee you there's going to be people who hop in afterwards and are going to be like, 3 hours? Holy guacamole. What's going on here? This the same thing happened with my same McLaren 5,000 times. It was like the amount of people I got afterwards being like, you know what, fair play. 5,000 times. Why do I do this to myself? For the love of the game. For the love of the bloody game, and we absolutely love it. Thank you, Modest. Yes, it has been a good run, and we're so close now. Let me get the timer up for you guys. 20 seconds. No. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Oh, that was quite weak. Hang on. Ah, it was like the tiniest alarm ever. Oh. Alright, my legs are absolutely killing me. Oh my god. Oz, you were completely correct. Thank God I didn't stop. My legs are mush. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will be back on your screens on Thursday for my Nico Hulkenberg special. I will be doing probably some like historic videos and my sim setup videos over this 3-week break. Then of course, fantasy videos coming out, all of that good stuff. I will say, my legs are looking wham after Silverstone and this. The calves, fair dues, fair dues. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. See you later, Big Goose. Thank you for your mentions of the sim stuff, because I have taken that into note. I think I am going to go for the GT setup. I think it just sounds better on money and sounds like it's still good considering what you said. But take care, everyone, and I'll see you all.